This program is a collaboration of personal opinions and individual free thought. It does not represent the views or narrative of the mainstream corporate media hacks. Viewer discretion is advised.
And here we go.
Live from the bell tower, taking a stand for your rights, your liberties, and all the bullshit in between. You're listening to Ring the Bell Podcast.
Shit, it's not Monday, but it is time for the Break the Bell podcast.
Hello, beautiful bell breakers.
It is getting really hard to find time to do this shit, especially in the summer, but we couldn't not do
I
one
was
this
gonna
week.
say, when something like what's happened, and everything that's happened this week, it's like we really couldn't call ourselves a podcast if we didn't try.
Yeah, right, exactly. So we're here, and we're here to talk about it. First attempted assassination of a president or presidential candidate since '81.
Yeah. Yep.
Since Ronald Reagan. You remember that, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. I was probably cleaning my dentures.
Your dentures?
I don't know.
You have dentures?
No.
Do you remember the assassination?
No, I don't remember it at all. No.
Jeez, you would have been like 6.
Yeah.
So
No, I don't remember it.
That's surprising. Well, if it would have been an assassination, you would remember it, I'm sure, because everybody would have talked
Yeah.
about it. But
Yeah.
Donald Trump, I mean, it's kind of like prophetic. It's like biblical, as some
Right.
people are saying. He's like the
Yes.
second coming.
Yes. Yeah.
Survived an assassination attempt, so
Yeah.
whatever you say about it, whether like you get one side saying, "Oh, this is like he's God's chosen,"
Right.
and the other side's like, "Damn it, he missed." And then, but wherever you sit with it, I feel that it is fair to now say that the Democrats don't have a fucking chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that, the image. I've got the image somewhere. Hang on, the image of Donald Trump
one that
after getting shot at.
People are putting on T-shirts, hats, and tattoos.
Yes.
Yes.
This image right here. Hang on, I gotta share the screen. I am not ready at all. If you didn't notice, and we're late even for a Thursday. We're still late, and I'm still not ready. This image right here, that's not popping up. Come on now. Everything's going so slow too.
There it is.
That image.
Yep.
That image is the campaign rally image.
Yeah.
Like, there's not another image that surpasses
No.
that.
It rivals Washington going across to Valley
right,
Forge,
right. I mean,
on the boat,
Trump with his fist in the air, blood staining
flag
his
waving
face,
behind him.
flag in the background, and he's just like defiant to his Secret Service, like, "No, I'm standing
Yeah.
and I am strong."
He's
And
yelling, "Fight!"
yeah,
Fight.
yes, and I mean, all you got to do is slap that on a T-shirt, like you said, and
Yeah.
just like instant win. I mean, I'm seeing people that like bigger people, like Elon Musk came out this week
Yeah.
and was like, "I fully endorse Donald Trump,"
Yeah.
or who was it? Conor McGregor came out and endorsed Donald
Yeah,
Trump.
right.
Is he even
It's like-
is he even an American
I don't
citizen?
think so.
It's like,
Yeah.
does it fucking matter?
Yeah, right.
But it's just like all these people are coming out of the woodworks and they're like, "Dude, this guy survived an assassination
Yeah.
attempt. I'm gonna vote for this
So,
guy."
Does Trump have street cred now?
I'd say he has quite a bit of
Yeah.
street cred.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
you don't almost get assassinated.
Yeah. You put
Without
a hole
getting a
through
little-
your ear, man.
Yeah, I mean, what a badass way to get your ear
Right?
pierced. I mean, I've got holes in my
Right.
ears. Never that way, though.
No, you could try that.
I prefer to not. I mean, then you get some people that are saying that it was a staged thing, and
Yeah.
I don't know. We're going to talk about all this stuff. I don't know what I
Yeah.
think. I just know. I know that the Democrats don't stand a fucking chance now.
Yeah.
Like there's
Yeah.
just nothing you can do.
Have you seen? And we're probably going to talk about this, but have you seen where they're talking about like MSNBC is talking about, like, since if Joe like bounces back from COVID, like that's the equivalent of what Trump just did.
No, I didn't see that.
Oh
Jesus
yeah, it's like,
Christ.
yeah, he's like, well, if he bounces back and gets back at the campaign trail, I mean that just shows he's as strong as Trump, right?
Sure. Yeah, that's the same thing. Joe standing up in bed without
Right.
shitting his pants.
He barely
is,
made it up the steps.
Right. That's a big of a deal for Joe as getting shot in the face and surviving. So we're going to talk about that. And then we also got, like, since then was the Republican National Convention. Is that still going on?
Yeah,
or
tonight's the last night.
Okay. Well, Donald Trump picked his VP choice, which was shocking to me because I'd never really heard of the guy.
I've heard of him before, but I kind of forgot about him because I heard about him because of a movie that was made.
I watched it last night.
The movie. Okay.
I watched the movie. It's a fucking great movie.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay. I'll have to watch the movie.
Yes, it popped. It was like suggested on Netflix, and
Okay.
it was like by or it was just the name of it. It's called a Hillbilly Elegy,
Yes.
and I saw it. It was like top of Netflix yesterday. I was like, I know that name. I was like, wait, that's Trump's VP guy.
Yeah.
Well, and I was just like, that's gonna be dumb. But then I saw the preview thing. I was like, actually, that looks really good. And I watched it. And I was just like,
Yeah.
okay, I might like part of me. I'm not saying I might, but that movie alone's like, dude, part of me would vote for that guy.
Yeah.
Just seeing what the shit that he's gone through and stuff.
I
And we'll
guess he
talk-
gave a speech last night,
Yeah.
and I haven't seen it, but I've had quite a few people tell me I need to watch it.
What you should watch it. Yes.
So, did you watch it?
I told you I watched it last night.
No,
oh, the speech? No, I have not watched the speech.
Okay.
I kind of read some clips of it.
Okay.
People calling him like on the left saying that he's the new MAGA white supremacist, and which is interesting because JD Vance was like a never Trumper
Right.
in 2016, and
Yeah.
now he's only Trumper, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, you see how things shift, though.
Right.
I'm not. We'll get into all
Yeah,
that stuff. After we got to talk about the assassination
Yes.
first, because I mean that's the thing. I mean, I'm on fucking vacation, all right. I was in St. Louis.
Yes.
This was Saturday.
Trying to enjoy.
Trying
your
to
day.
enjoy my day, trying to just block out the world,
Yeah.
really, and just enjoy vacation. And then all of a sudden, I get text: Donald Trump was shot. It's like, oh fuck! And then spent the next like couple hours scrolling through shit
Yeah.
at the hotel. It was, I mean, I enjoyed the rest of my. I looked it
Yeah.
up. I was just like, okay, he's shot in the ear. He's fine. All right,
Yeah.
we can put the phone
You
away for
didn't
now.
go to the family and be like, "We got to get home. I
No.
got podcast
If he
shit
would
to get ready
if he
for."
would have been killed,
Yeah.
that
right.
might have stopped. We might have been just like record scratch and stuff. When I saw it's shot in the ear, it's fine. I'm just like, okay, I can go about my day. But that night at the hotel, I was scrolling Twitter, scrolling through the posts and stuff, saving some images that I'm like, that's gonna disappear after
Right.
today.
Right.
And so yeah, that happened during my vacation. And so I'm just like, all right, we got to get back to talk about it. And then Monday we had like a freaking hurricane here.
Right. Yeah.
And then it's been busy since. So
Yeah,
it's just
it's-
like, all right, we got to make this thing happen because we got to talk about the shit.
Yeah.
And obviously there's some more political stuff we got to
Right.
talk about too. So we'll see how long this one goes. Probably won't spend too much time on JD Vance because I don't know a goddamn
Right.
thing about
Yeah,
him.
I
I
don't
do
either.
know that the movie was great, and the left is saying that he's like the new wave of white supremacy. So
Beautiful. He's
it's gonna
got to be
great.
good.
He's got to be great. We're going to get right into this right after this video. Check us out all over social media at the handle @BreakTheBellPod. Share it around far and wide. Let's kick this thing off.
Let's do it.
We'll be back.
What did you say?
You talking to me?
What the heck are you talking about?
What did you say?
What did you say? What did you say?
Are you talking to me?
Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
What did he say? What did you say?
Are you talking to me?
Well, maybe he was talking to me.
What'd you say?
Talk to me.
What in heaven's name are you talking about?
Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me, baby!
Did you just say?
What did you say?
You listen to me. Are you talking to me?
Are you talking to me?
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
All right, we're going to watch this real quick. I don't have the post intro music because I forgot to hit the button. But we're gonna watch this real quick. This is what happened Saturday night.
Bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
I'm gonna rewind it because my logo was in the way, so people couldn't actually see it.
That chart's
One
a
more
couple of
time.
months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Move it there. Hold. When you're ready. On you. Ready. Move. Up. Move. Go.
Hawkeye's here.
I'm waiting for the part
You ready?
where he throws his fist up.
Yeah. He had to get his shoes on again.
Oh yeah. He forgot his shoes. Yeah. How did the shoot his shoes off?
Maybe he's gonna throw it.
It was a lot longer than I remember watching it between there and when he actually does it.
Let me get my shoes.
Let me get my shoes.
Let me get my shoes.
My shoes. So you don't need your shoes. I've paid for shoes like that before. For more than you have.
Okay, I've got a problem already.
Watch out.
Wait. There's the fist.
Yeah.
Now I've got a problem with it. Let's get rid of that.
Should ever eat.
I got a problem with that video already.
Yeah.
What the fuck was the Secret Service doing?
Yeah. I know. Yeah, it's like they're trying to I don't know, create a huddle around him.
But like you, first of all, you could clearly, God, I can't even talk tonight. Clearly see his face.
Oh yeah,
in
it was
broad
like
daylight.
above all of them.
Yes,
Right?
it's just like
and he's like, my shoes.
it's like, yeah, I get that they say they've neutralized the
Right.
target. They
But
probably
there could
already.
be a second shooter.
There easily could be a
Right.
third, a fourth. There
Yeah.
could be a bomb somewhere, dude. Why are you even standing
Right.
up? And then you saw a guy like put his hand up and kind of in front of his
Yeah.
face. It's just like,
because that'll stop a bullet.
all right, so let's backtrack a little. It's really hard to believe, or it's not really hard. It's not that hard to believe in today's political climate that this would happen.
Oh no, not at all.
Today's like something like this take place
We've talked about
on
it.
either side too.
Yeah, right. And we've
Like-
talked about that.
Like they built up so much like hatred on
Yeah.
both sides. Just like it's just bound to happen that somebody's gonna get so pissed off, even if it's not a conspiracy or
Right.
not the CIA plot,
Right.
the JFK plot or something like that. It's just the climate that we're in today. It's like you will hate this person because he's not our
Yeah.
person and he is literally Satan, and you must we must defeat him at all costs. It's like, okay, let's take him out.
Yeah, and people have taken that. I mean, the people have said, well, just a couple more inches,
Right.
or next time don't miss. You
Yeah,
know, it's
right.
like obviously they feel like this guy is worth killing.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, lots of people on Twitter
Yeah.
feel like an injustice was
I
served
have
because
some
he wasn't missed
Friends
or he wasn't
on
hit.
Facebook that have said something like that. Right?
Seriously.
But you would think, even with the climate and the tension in the air with technology today, right, and all the new strategies they've learned with all that,
How does this happen?
right? How does this
the
happen?
fuck does
Right,
this happen?
Right.
Like I said in the pre-show, first time since 1981 that something like this has happened. Probably because of technology,
Right.
security being beefed up,
Mhm.
just like the protocol to.
Yeah.
I mean, not letting presidents drive around in limos down
Right.
the freaking square.
Yeah.
Open limos.
Yeah.
They're supposed to spend like 24 plus hours walking around making sure
and especially checking rooftops.
Right.
Right. Any
Right?
vantage point that somebody would have a clear
The high
shot.
ground. I mean, I think Anakin Skywalker proved that the high ground is
It's deadly.
it's not good.
Yeah.
So who's to blame for this climate here, for this happening?
Yeah.
Do we blame the toxic political culture, like I said?
Yeah.
Do we blame the media, who kind of perpetuates the toxic climate?
I mean, I definitely feel like, the media is hugely responsible for this.
Do you blame the Secret Service for shitting the bed?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt. They had one job.
Yeah,
One job.
it's literally what you're paid to do is
Yeah.
not shit the bed and
Right.
protect this guy.
I mean, why wasn't a sniper on that roof?
Right. I
Right?
mean, there were snipers, but not,
because the slope was too deep, right?
yeah, it was the slope. That was the most minor slope I've ever seen.
I know, but
Was that not the biggest fucking cop-out answer? It's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
well,
yeah.
we were going to, but there was too much of a slope.
yeah,
It's
it
like,
wouldn't be safe. But then they had guys up there with mops and hoses washing off.
yes. Did you see the one that was like a meme of a cow on a more sloped roof? Derek's here. Derek says
Derek.
they were clearly feeling up the 5'1" diversity hire. Derek, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. He said, "You notice the lack of drones in the area? That's right. No birds anywhere."
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would think there'd at least be like scout drones or something
Right.
flying around
Yeah.
or something, and it doesn't really fucking matter because apparently, law enforcement was tipped off to this guy with a gun on a roof up to 3 minutes before the shooting.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. I mean, they could have had the drones. They could have had all kinds. They could have had like 3 times as many people.
Right.
If you're not going to do your fucking job when somebody says, "Hey, there's a guy on that fucking roof with a gun,"
Yeah.
then it doesn't matter what kind of technology or security you have if you're not going to use it. JC's here and he says, "OMG, hi Derek." Not to us, just to Derek.
Yeah.
He just came for Derek. I just came for Derek too, to be
Right.
honest. So, but it's pretty clear. Like I said before, it's super clear to me now. It doesn't matter how it happened, what happened. Democrats don't have a prayer at this point.
No.
Like
no.
there's just you saw that image of him with his fist,
Oh, yeah.
power
Iconic.
fist in the air,
Right?
blood on his face. I mean, they don't stand a chance.
Yeah.
Let's just get into the story.
'Kay.
Let's read the story as it came out. I hate media online today because it's so hard to go find the original stories because they update the original stories.
Yeah.
So I feel like they shouldn't be allowed to update the original stories. It should just be archived and like maybe added on.
Right. I
But no,
agree.
they go and like re-edit them and stuff. Because
Yeah.
even if you open up a story that you saved from 3 days ago, it's been changed and altered
Yeah.
in the last.
You almost have to go buy a newspaper if you
Exactly.
want the original story.
And even that's probably
that's true.
probably altered somehow. It's memory hold. So this is from USA Today. It says Trump wounded at a rally in an assassination attempt and the gunman's killed. Before I get into that, the media, how they
Yes.
cover this. Is that
Yes.
what you're about to talk about?
Yes.
The media. How many reports were out there that was just like, Trump was spooked over loud noise
Right.
during the campaign rally, or Trump fell to the ground over noises that sounded like gunshots. It's like he was fucking shot.
Yeah, right. Yeah, or Secret Service interrupt rally, and it's
because
like,
of a loud noise.
yeah,
And it's just
and
like
it's like yeah,
any other time
yeah.
would that have been the case in the media?
Oh my gosh, no.
I mean,
And
a
even
fire, like you remember the firecracker or the balloon that popped for Reagan.
oh yeah, right.
And
He's like,
everybody
they missed.
yeah, and everybody kind of made a deal about that. But
Yeah.
this guy was literally shot, and
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, it was a loud noise."
Oh yeah,
and he got scared.
and then they like they criticize the guy for like dropping down, right? And
That's
it's like,
what he's supposed to
I know,
do.
right? It's like, what would you do?
Yeah, even if he in his head was like, "I'm a badass, I'm going to stand," the Secret Service is supposed to
Right.
tackle his ass to the
Right,
ground.
yeah,
Like he's supposed to drop to the ground. That's what you do in that situation. No, just stand there and keep getting a headshot.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, I could see Donald Trump doing that.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"Come and get me,
Oh,
bitch."
you got
He's like, "I'm invincible. I'm the chosen one." This is from USA Today. It says, Trump wounded at a rally in assassination attempt. The gunman was killed. Former President Donald Trump survived a brazen assassination attempt Saturday evening as a 20-year-old gunman opened fire at on a campaign rally, injuring Trump's right ear and killing a spectator, officials said. Trump was rushed off stage with blood dripping on his face after gunshots rang out at the rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. And the sniper, identified by the FBI as Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, was killed by Secret Service agents. 2 spectators were in serious condition. This evening, so this is FBI special agent in charge, Kevin Rojek. This evening, we had what we are calling an assassination attempt against our former president, Donald Trump. I like how they have to say what we are calling an assassination attempt. Now, I don't know, did you see the kind of list that, I can't remember if it was MSNBC or some media post. It's just like, don't say assassination, or don't say this, or don't speculate on this. And it's just like, they're like, we don't want this to be a bigger fucking deal than it is. And
it's
then,
a big fucking deal.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. It could have been Al Gore running against George Bush. It still should have been a big fucking deal.
Right, absolutely.
But Donald Trump, it's a big freaking deal. Not that I would feel any worse if Donald Trump died over Al Gore.
Right.
But the shit show that would come of that.
Oh, yes. And that's what I tell people that are like, they're like, oh, well, you know, if it would have been a little bit closer or whatever. I'm like, do you know what would have happened if he
instant
died?
Civil war.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
Eruption
It would have been
of,
open season.
Yeah, shit on my shirt. I apologize to you guys for seeing the shit on my shirt.
I think anybody can see the shit on your shirt.
It says, goes on to say, the FBI has not released the motives in the attack. That's another weird thing.
Yeah.
Like this guy.
What?
Like, this guy has nothing.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing.
Yeah.
We'll get into him a little bit, but not a lot of social media.
Yeah. No rants.
No rants. No. I mean, we've seen a lot of shit come out where it ended up being a fake video that wasn't him. There was like this guy with kind of the same long hair, kind of same build.
Was that the BlackRock video?
No, this guy was just kind of in a public street, just kind of screaming and stuff, and it turned out to not be him. There's another guy that kind of looked like him that was a video, and he was like, I'm what's his name?
Thomas
Books. Yeah, I'm Thomas Michael Books or whatever his name is. He's like, I hate Donald Trump, I hate Republicans, and you got the wrong guy. And I'm just like, oh, okay. And then it turned out that was fake too. So there's all this shit coming out about him, but it's not real stuff. The real facts of it are like basically nothing. Like, he was a quiet kid.
Right.
Not even a loner quiet kid. From what I've read, he was a quiet kid, but he had like a core group of friends. Super smart kid. Graduated honors at in high school. Graduated with honors in community college. Super smart kid. Super polite, nice kid. Just decides, hey, I'm gonna shoot Donald Trump. Did he read Catchers in the Rye? What the fuck happened?
Right.
Like, seriously, what switch flipped his switch?
Right.
What did the CIA do to flip his switch? Because unless it was the Catchers in the Rye, I don't know. You get that reference?
Oh, yeah,
right? Okay,
yeah.
You're old enough to remember that. You remember John Lennon's assassination too. About almost the same time as
it was 1 year before
Ronald Reagan. Yeah. Trump said he was shot in the ear in an email sent out late Saturday night from his campaign team, quoted him saying, I will never surrender. Secret Service spokesman Anthony Guglielmi, Jesus Christ, what kind of name is that for your spokesperson?
Right? I know.
Like, you would not qualify as a spokesperson based on your last fucking name.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, if people can't pronounce your name, you are not our spokesperson.
Yes, right?
Yeah, what about all the freaking Greek reporters out there? Like, what's his the dumbass, the guy that interviewed Stephanopoulos.
Yeah, Stephanopoulos. Yeah.
Stupid fucking names. Secret Service spokesman Anthony Guglielmi said in a statement that Crooks fired multiple shots towards the stage at approximately 6:15. Crooks had been positioned on a rooftop more than 100 yards from the rally site. I was on a rooftop when this came out. I was about to ride a fucking Ferris wheel. Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens of Pennsylvania State Police said law enforcement is following up on the number of suspicious occurrences, including accounts from witnesses who said they tried to flag police about the activity of a person outside the rally moments before shooting. Yeah. Oh, it's so much more than this, though. Yeah. They have so many more opportunities than just that. It's surprising, Rojek said when asked about the alleged gunman's close vicinity to the rally. He said the gunman's proximity is among the details that will come out in the investigation. The Secret Service really needs to answer that question. They conduct the initial site survey.
The FBI guy said that?
This was Rojek. Who the fuck is Rojek again? I don't know.
He was FBI.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
So the Secret Service tapped local law enforcement to kind of help out. And so the Secret Service initially they were like, well, that was their responsibility was outside the venue.
Right. Yeah.
Ours was inside. But at the end of the day, we are responsible for what happens, so it's kind of our responsibility.
Yeah.
But also on top of that, the Secret Service was responsible for setting up the whole perimeter, making sure there wasn't vantage points 140 fucking yards away from this guy, like a freaking sniper's nest up there, and making sure the local law enforcement was informed in what was going on. So yes, at the end of the day, it is your freaking job to protect the president.
Yeah.
Law enforcement's job to do what you say. If you didn't,
but you have jurisdiction,
right? Derek says if that has happened in a state with constructional, or I'm sure it means constitutional, constructional carry, civilians would have taken care of the gunman before he was a problem. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would have most likely been carrying at the rally.
Yeah.
And I don't even care who the freaking candidate
was.
It's
a Trump rally, so everybody would have been carrying.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And here in Iowa, absolutely. Trump reached for his ear as the gunfire erupted. Attendees at the rally began screaming as agents pushed Trump to the ground. The former president was removed from the site by Secret Service with his fist raised. Stephen Chung, Trump's spokesperson, confirmed in a statement that the former president is fine, but had seen doctors at an area medical facility. The Secret Service posting on social media confirmed that agents neutralized the assassin and that he was dead. Law enforcement recovered an AR-style rifle from the scene. A male innocent bystander at the rally was killed, the FBI confirmed. The former president, there was like 2 others injured too.
Yeah.
The former president said in a statement, "It is incredible that such an act can take place in this country." And then it goes into talking about Matthew Crooks, or Thomas Matthew Crooks, the would-be assassin.
I love how they put the middle name in there.
Yes.
Because you can't be a presidential assassin
right.
unless you have 3
like
names.
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Right, or James.
Hey, there was Saran, though.
That's true.
I mean,
that's a good point. But he wasn't a president.
They're like, that's fair. But it's like, what middle name do you throw in with Saran?
Right, yeah,
Saran.
Right.
Saran.
Yeah. Is that an 80s band?
So this rooftop was 140 yards away. This guy has no motive. 20-year-old gunman on this rooftop, 140 yards, which is more than a football field. It's almost a football field and a half. But when it comes to marksmanship, that's not really that far for a marksman.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, this guy is said to have gone to gun clubs or was part of a gun club or something. I saw some reports that said he got kicked out or maybe was kicked off his shooting team in school or something because he was terrible. But he was still part of this gun club up to, I think, this point.
Okay. Was it his gun?
It was his dad's gun.
His dad's gun,
yes. 20-year-old. Witnesses, like this said, 3 minutes before saw this guy, at least 3 minutes before. Again, how does this fucking happen? I want to pull up the map because I keep saying 140 yards. I want to pull up the freaking map so we can kind of see the image of what this scenario was that unfolded. So this is on Butler Farm in Pennsylvania. Try to zoom in so we can see some shit here. So this is the stage right here.
Yep. Okay.
Right kind of in the center of those 3 back buildings.
Yeah.
You had snipers up on this white roof to the left. This white roof over here, this very slopey roof, is where this would-be assassin managed to make his way to, climb up on, scurry his way up the backside of that slope, and take, 4 or 5 shots that he took?
Yeah, it was like 4 or 5 shots.
Now, originally I thought that that collection of that volley of fire that you heard, that one of those was probably him getting shot
Right. Yeah.
and killed.
Yeah.
He didn't get shot for 26 seconds after opening fire.
Really?
You can hear it in
26
the video.
seconds.
You can hear it in the video.
Yeah.
I don't have the video open, but you can hear all the chaos of the people, the Secret Service talking when we were waiting for the fist raise or whatever,
Right, yeah.
and you hear a pop. Just kind of, if you're listening for it, you hear a pop, and that's when he got shot. It was that long.
Wow.
26 seconds after shooting
Yeah.
that they took this guy out, knowing where he was in the
Right,
first
right,
place.
yeah.
I mean, I could understand if all of a sudden shots start ringing out.
Right,
They're like,
like,
where the
where is
fuck's
he?
this
Where is
coming
he?
from?
Right.
But when witnesses said where he was 3 minutes prior, if they have radios, maybe they forgot the radios. Maybe it's like
Someone forgot
Waco
to
where they
charge 'em.
forgot medical attention, like forgot the radios, had radio. I don't know, but some law enforcement knew 3 minutes prior.
Yeah.
This guy took 5 shots, 26 seconds for the Secret Service, the best security force
Yeah.
in the country, at least, supposedly.
Yeah. Not in this case.
26 seconds to take this guy out.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like it was like a firefight. It was like pop, 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 pop. Then all of a sudden it was silent.
Yeah.
And then almost half a minute later, you hear pop. And it's like, dude, that was, what are you
Yeah.
doing
Well,
your
and
breathing exercises?
and
it's
if
like
you're-
slow, steady
You're looking at
squeeze.
Trump on the stage. You can clearly see the Secret Service sniper sitting
Yeah.
on the roof next to
Oh,
him,
yeah.
which should have had a perfect vantage point.
You would think. So 140 yards here. I assumed, because here's the stage, I assumed he took a shot, missed Trump, and killed a guy behind him.
That's what I thought. The way
This
he
red
was-
dot is where somebody died. The stand
Yeah.
to the left here. So it's like he
like
was
he's-
aiming downwards, and this
Right.
guy like stood up at the wrong point.
Yeah,
It's like
right.
what? And got, it's like
Yeah.
shit. So
Yeah.
somebody
No,
got killed.
That's what I thought because like you said, he unloaded 4 or 5 bullets. I mean, there was people all behind
Yeah.
him. I thought for sure that some of those people got hit.
Well, the stand's back here. You would think. I mean, he was in the video. It looks like they are literally on his ass,
Yeah.
like crowded behind him. But
Yeah.
it's kind of an optical illusion because you see the
Okay.
stage here, and then
Yeah.
the stands are back here. So maybe from shooting down,
Right.
it didn't hit anybody that was up in the stands at that level because
Yeah.
it was angled down. It would have hit maybe the bottom of the stands or something.
Right.
But yeah, I was impressed that nobody behind him,
Yeah.
based on what the image looked like, that they were like that close
Right.
to him. It's like, how the fuck did nobody die
Yeah.
behind him? But somebody died in a totally different stand. So I don't know. The funny thing is that building that had no coverage on it,
Mm-hmm.
no Secret Service on it, it was flagged as a potential risk area,
Well, yeah.
but nobody was there. It's like, oh, that could be a problem.
Yeah.
I'll keep that in the back of
Yeah.
my head.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly, they're keeping an eye on it.
Yeah.
Like I don't like it. It baffles me how this was allowed to happen.
Oh, I know.
How this 20-year-old kid, not some sort of free, like looking at the kid, not some sort of like a tactical guy, not like some special ops type guy,
Right.
like
Yeah.
total nerd kid
Yeah.
that happened to know how to shoot a gun. But
Yeah.
even if you're part of like a gun club or like a shoot, I don't even know if it's a gun club. It's like a Midwest shooting up here, like
Yeah.
part of a range, like you're
Right.
a member at a range or something. Even if you're like the best marksman, like you can hit a freaking penny from 1,000 yards.
Right.
To get to that point takes a lot more skill than just
Yeah.
your shooting skills.
Right.
To get up there without quote unquote being noticed,
Mm-hmm.
being picked off by, like, how did the fucking gun get there? Did he have it hid before, stashed before?
Right.
I've heard some people say, which I don't think that's the case, that he carried a ladder all the way there, but I think they said he like hopped up
Yeah,
on air
there's-
conditionings or something.
Yeah. Well, it looked like there was almost like a built-in ladder into the building.
Yeah, well, like
what I
the
saw.
first level of the building, I think he hopped on air conditioning to get up.
Okay.
Then he like climbed like a pre-built ladder. But I don't know. And we can't get a story straight. You
Right.
think all the coverage there
Right.
somebody saw something.
Yeah.
With all the cell phones that are fucking there, somebody saw something.
Yeah, you'd think
and
some
we would
pictures
know
or videos would have
exactly
popped up.
what happened.
Yeah,
But that being said, with all the freaking technology, again, all the technology, that how the fuck did this like freaking computer nerd looking guy, like video game nerd looking guy, happen to infiltrate this freaking rally?
Right.
That has snipers and law enforcement and
probably dogs and metal detectors.
you would think, yes. So let's look at a video of the sniper. You were talking about the sniper on the roof because this is another funny incident. Like we're just kind of walking through the level of screw ups here.
Yeah.
Let me pull this one up. Everything's kind of going slow. See the sniper right there on the roof, right?
Yes.
And I think there's another one next to him.
I think so. Yeah.
Let's play this.
And you know, that's a little bit old. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you
It looks like he's looking at something.
Yeah.
And then suddenly he's like, "Oh shit!" And he takes his fucking eye off of the scope.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh shit!" And then he puts it back down and starts shooting. I wish I could zoom in further on this because this is kind of hard to see. But looking.
If you want to really see something that's said, take a look.
Oh shit! And then he engages, I guess. I don't know, like so many people, like he had him in his sights the whole time, and he waited. It was like they had like a don't shoot first order or something. I mean, he could have been kind of scanning the area. I don't know what kind of range you have on that scope, but when you're zoomed way far in, it is really hard to find something.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
In a scope, even if you're like, oh, it's right there, you go look in the scope. It's like I'm looking at a tree, and you're you're trying to find it. I mean, it's the same with like when you're zoomed way in on your phone. It's just like. It's hard. So, I mean, he could have been scanning the area, then all of a sudden been like, oh, something's shooting. Let's get it.
Like,
then maybe he took his eye off the scope to see where it was coming from and then put.
Yeah, that's possible.
I don't know, but that is a possibility. But knowing that they knew 3 minutes prior.
Right.
Where he was, this guy, they said where this guy was on a roof. Maybe he was scanning, maybe the guy was kind of hiding back and they couldn't see him, but I would think that close to the shooting, this guy was well aimed in already.
Yeah.
They should have been trained on that roof for him to pop up over the top and just headshot him off the bat.
Would have been like, be like, 6 clicks to the west, 148 yards out, keep an eye on
that building, that building we flagged yesterday? The one that we said could potentially be a problem.
The one that Bob's supposed to be on, but he's taking a shit.
Derek says, it's really weird that this camera person has the sniper and Trump in frame the entire time. It is, I mean, maybe, maybe if I was there, I'd be like, oh, look, there's snipers.
Yeah.
Oh, they're looking at something. Let's see what's going on. And Derek says, why not zoom in on the cameraman? I think the cameraman was a plant. I mean, I think there's definitely plants here. We don't even have time to get into all the shit. There's so much shit here. There's the lady in the background. I sent you the video. I don't have it tonight. She's right behind Trump. Well, she looks from the angle, looks like she's standing right next to Trump. But like the shooting starts, everybody drops and she's standing there like with her phone.
Yeah.
And then when she does finally drop, she's holding her phone up. And she's like, she knew. And it was like, she first sat down, like she sat down first right before the first shot rang out.
She had a sign.
Yeah, she like held it up and kind of sat down.
Yeah, and then she put the sign down, and that's when the shot.
Yeah, it was almost like signaling or something.
That was my thought. When
so
I first saw it.
I don't know. There's definitely some shady shit going on here. But the biggest shady thing, again, back to the witnesses, was this witness here. Let me get past all this extra shit. This guy looks like a MAGA guy, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Let's play this one.
We noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us.
Looks like my cousin.
50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle. We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there.
All right, let's pause there.
Yeah.
Now I could see somebody's crawling up a roof with nothing.
Right.
And they're like, dude, there's a guy crawling up the roof. Oh, that's a person of interest. We should keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
Now when they say dude, there's a guy crawling up that roof with a rifle. That's just like fucking shoot him.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't matter. Like as long if you're aware that that's not one of your own, which they should be, you would think. But knowing the clusterfuck that happened with the maybe they're or not the CIA, probably CIA, the Secret Service, with their mass organizational skills there. Maybe they're like, is that one of ours? I'm not sure. Jerry, is that
Jerry?
Can anybody confirm that that's not one of ours? Now, how it should have been was, we know where everybody's stationed. We got all our zones pointed out. We're all checked in. It's like, hey, there's a guy with a rifle on a roof. Oh, okay, bang.
Yeah.
It's gone. Just eliminated. It was like, at a rally like that, guys crawling on a roof with a gun, it doesn't matter what his intention. They're not good. They're not fucking good. Even if it's just, I don't care. I don't care if you, like, I don't care what you say about it. There's a guy crawling on a roof with a rifle. In that moment, Secret Service job is to fucking kill him.
Right.
Not arrest him, to fucking kill him.
Yeah.
And even there was law enforcement that, because when they're like, oh, there's a suspicious guy on the roof with the rifle, law enforcement goes up the ladder and it's like, oh, let me check this out. He points the gun at law enforcement. What do?
Shoot him.
No, climb back down the ladder.
Oh.
That's what happened.
He pointed a gun at the
a law enforcement person climbed up there to check it out. He turns, points the rifle. Law enforcement's like, nope, and jumped back down the ladder, he turned and...
You sure this wasn't in Florida?
No, this
county that didn't go into the school?
Yeah, no shit. It's just like, dude, are you wearing a bulletproof vest?
Yeah, right.
Like, your fucking job.
Yeah.
I get that was the county law enforcement. They're like, that's not my job to take a bullet for the president.
Yeah.
But still, it is your job.
Right.
Like,
to
I
take
get
care of a gunman.
Maybe I don't fucking know. I don't.
That's ridiculous.
I don't know. Let's keep going.
They're running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? You know, like they didn't know what was going on. You know, we're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. You know, he's crawling. And
like Kermit the Frog.
Next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2-3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%.
No, it came from the other guy with another gun somewhere on a different roof.
That was an eyewitness there on the ground.
So, now let's talk through this.
Yeah.
Witness sees said guy on roof.
Yeah.
Again, if didn't see a rifle, it'd be like, oh, we should go check this out because that's weird. There's a guy crawling on a roof.
Right. Even if it was just like liability, right? Oh,
Right.
we don't want a guy to fall off the roof on this.
In this
rally,
situation,
right?
it's just like that guy. There's something weird. Shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Let's go get him off that roof. But they were like, no, he had a rifle.
Yeah.
We told them he had a rifle. So let's play devil's advocate, I guess. Let's say they're like, because it was a slopey roof. Maybe he's standing here, sloping like this, and he's like, hey, somebody there. And police officer standing here. He looks up. He's like, where? I don't see anybody.
Yeah.
Or they couldn't get to him because he pointed a gun at him.
Right.
What's the first thing they should have fucking done when they heard there's a guy with a gun on the roof? Before even shooting him, what's the first thing they should have done?
Probably do a check and see where all their people are.
No, they should have been like, there's a guy with a gun, get Trump off the stage.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Like, Trump should have not been on the stage for 3 more freaking minutes. Somebody says, there's a guy on the, get him off right now.
Right,
get him down, get him off.
Get Secret Service up
there's
there.
something going on, and we can't see it right now, but get him off just in case. 3 minutes, they're like, huh? Where? Who? What?
Yeah.
And then, I mean, they were aware enough that an officer went up there and got a gun pointed at him. Why weren't they aware enough to be like, get the package off the stage?
Yeah, and even at that point, the guy should have been like, yeah, there's a guy with a gun. I need help. We need to get the package off the stage.
Yes. I don't know what's going on. We have a situation here. Let's cut this thing short. Get him off now.
Yeah.
Move him.
Yeah.
So either they allowed this to happen intentionally, or it was disgustingly gross, complete incompetence on the Secret Service part.
Which is what it seems like.
It seems like maybe both.
Yeah.
Like, those are the only two options. Either they were just completely, grossly incompetent, or
they let it happen.
They allowed it to happen. And like, oh, there's a guy with a gun on the roof. Let's see how this plays out. I wonder how good of a shot he is.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
that's a bit of a distance.
And knowing the conflict that Trump has with the FBI and the CIA, would it surprise you if the Secret Service was like,
Well, on top of that, the new director of the Secret Service.
Yes.
Her name is Kimberly Cheadle.
I've seen her. Yes.
Dumbass.
Yes.
She's the one that came out. Well, first of all, before she took over the Secret Service, and not working on the Secret Service, but took over, like, head of the Secret Service.
Right. She was like ex-Marine, right?
I don't know about that, but before that, she was running security for Pepsi.
Wow. Okay.
Head of security for Pepsi. Now, yes, I get that that's kind of this both security, but
not quite the
I
same
feel
level.
like it's not the same level of involvement.
Right. Yeah. Well, and there's a difference between making sure the Pepsi factory is secure and making sure the president or future president is secure.
Future former president is secure. Yeah. Yeah.
So
the resume might say head of security.
Right.
But
Not
that
Secret
doesn't
Service.
necessarily qualify you for
Yeah.
leading the Secret Service, especially if you've never done the Secret Service before. Like, I feel like that's a job you got to work up through the ranks on. Like, I get that some management roles kind of transfer. Like, you get, like, senior manager at freaking UPS going and, like, taking over management position for, like, Walmart or something like that. It's like, yeah, we haven't worked in this field, but we've worked managerial stuff. I know how to... I know logistics and all that stuff. Like, a lot of that stuff transfers. But when it comes to, like, the Secret Service,
right,
I feel like that's something because even if you're like private security contractor or something like that, it's still a totally different ballgame when it comes to protecting the fucking president, protecting like royalty, protecting like like. I feel like you still at least got to do some time in the Secret Service to know what's involved before I'm running this bitch.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I mean that's kind of the major leagues of security, right? I mean, and you're not just talking like electronic security. You're not talking like even like just personal security. You're talking about scoping the land, assessing all the threat areas, which is totally different than making sure Pepsi's cool.
Yeah, I mean, and at least you should have, like, I would think, a military background of
I
some
would think
sort.
so, yeah, to kind of be like, okay, well, that's a good vantage point for a sniper.
Right.
That's a vulnerable area there, something like that.
Now, it doesn't seem like this Secret Service really cares about qualifications at this point.
No.
Because one of the first things that she did when she stepped in was say 30% of the Secret Service is going to be women.
Is that what she said?
Yeah.
Oh.
Absolutely. That's why you saw the freaking women there. And I'm not one of those like, oh, if it wasn't women, then it wouldn't. But I feel like there are, and you can call me sexist all you want, there are certain qualifications. I don't care if you're a fucking man or a woman. There are certain qualifications, regardless of your gender, that I feel like you should have to meet.
Yes.
If you're going to be Secret Service.
Absolutely.
Number one, you got to be in like peak physical shape.
Right.
Like peak physical shape. Not like, oh, I go for like a 2-mile jog twice a week.
Right.
No, peak physical, like freaking like special ops type shape.
Absolutely, I agree.
You like take your shirt off and your freaking abs hit somebody in the face.
You
That
can
kind of
fucking
shape.
Chase a car for 3 miles.
Yes.
Right.
Number two, you got to be great with weapons. Like great. Like top, not just like, hey, I get out and shoot once in a while.
Yeah.
I'm a gun enthusiast. No, you got like you qualifying like every week.
Right. Yeah.
Number three, you got to be tall enough to take a bullet for the person you're protecting.
Yeah.
So whether you're a woman or a man, I don't care. You got to be fucking tall enough to stand in front of them.
I agree.
And block the line of sight so you're not like holding your hand up in his face like they showed. Number four, you got to be strong enough to be able to tackle that bitch to the ground if somebody shoots at him.
Absolutely.
Now I want to get a couple images of these people here. First of all, here's one of the Secret Service people, and I'm sure everybody's seen this video by now. Derek says you should also be able to holster your weapon without looking.
Yes.
Right here.
Barbie,
Perfect
a
example.
highly trained member of the Secret Service, removes her weapon from its holster for the very first time in her career. She struggles to return her pea shooter as though it's her first day on the job. Fortuitously, her skills from a previous life as an amateur actress come into play, allowing her to convincingly mimic the swift draw of the weapon and scan the horizon for threats. Chewing her gum nonchalantly, she attempts to exude a tactical demeanor, reminiscent of a fusion between the Blues Brothers and Rosie O'Donnell.
All right, so first of all, this female here,
Yes.
again, nothing against her gender.
Yeah.
She's not any of those qualifications I just said.
No.
She's not in great physical shape from what I can see. I know she probably has a vest on underneath. That makes her look a little more padded, but she doesn't look like in the greatest physical shape.
No.
She's clearly not great with weapons. If you can't holster it, you probably can't shoot it very well either.
Agreed.
She's not tall enough at all to fucking block Donald Trump. She looks really short in this video up against all the other people.
Yeah.
And she doesn't look like she's strong enough.
No. No.
Here's another image. The one that we keep looking at.
Yeah.
You see this chick right here?
Yeah.
Does she look tall enough to block Donald Trump's face?
She doesn't look like
She looks like she might be in great shape. She might be great with weapons, but she's not tall enough for the job.
She's
looks
not
like
big
she's
enough
going
for the Monica Lewinsky position.
Yes. Number two, she looks like she's struggling to be like, bitch, get back on the ground, and it's not happening for her.
Please.
She's not going to tackle him and get him knocked out of the way. Clearly. Like, this should not have been allowed to happen.
No.
This is a great photo op that will win elections.
Yes.
If the camera got the shot, a fucking sniper can get that shot.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't care how great of a picture was this shot. This camera shot never should have happened. He should have been like buried by secret. Nobody should have even been able to tell. Like he should have just been like in a concert where they just like disappear and it's just like, where the fuck did they go? Or like a David Copperfield performance where Secret Service spreads and Donald Trump's just gone because they like whisked him off. But this was allowed to happen.
Right.
She is not tall enough or strong enough to prevent that. Those guys aren't even strong enough to keep him from making a stupid. He's like, let me stand up after I put my shoes on. It's like, we need to fight, and they're like, yeah, photo op. And this guy, I think, maybe it was one of the two in front that put their hand in front of his face, like, oh, it's gonna block the bullets. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care who they are, what gender they are, what race they are, what. You got to be able to do your fucking job. 30% women on the force. Qualifications. That's what matters.
Do you think that maybe his campaign people were like, look, it would probably look good optics if you had some women around you for secret?
I don't think he picks the Secret Service, though.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the Secret Service that
Did Joe Biden be like, yeah, give him these guys?
Yeah, give him that, that short little Melissa McCarthy looking
yeah, I was
girl.
just going to say that, yeah.
Get her on a team. Get this like 4'5" chick on the team. And then get these other couple guys just in case. I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts on this? The qualifications of it.
No, I agree. I mean, sure, if you want, what DEI hires or affirmative action or whatever, I mean, that's fine.
Right.
But to protect the fucking president or past or future, soon to be, whatever, you
got to have the best of the best. Yes. You got to have Gerard fucking Butler protecting you.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
Not Rosie O'Donnell, not Melissa McCarthy.
No.
I don't care.
Yeah. And if I was drunk and I saw them, he'd take shit, but I'd be like, no. Come on.
Yeah,
you can do better.
And I don't even care, like, oh, yeah, you're the best marksman.
There's some badass chicks out there.
There are some badass chicks, but there should be at least a height requirement,
Absolutely.
a size requirement. Yeah. Like there's size and weight requirements for the Marines that are designated to carry friggin' caskets.
Yeah.
They have to be a certain height.
And this should be no different.
This should be more important than who's carrying a fucking casket. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't want the person dropped. Obviously, they want everything to look uniform. I mean, it is a pretty big freaking deal, the people carrying the military caskets.
Yeah.
But I feel like this should be even more stringent on height and weight strength requirements.
Yeah.
Like, you should be tackling freaking water buffalo for training every day.
They should bring in a water buffalo and have them tackle it so they can be like, okay, you're on the team.
Yeah. If you can't tackle this water buffalo, it's not going to work out for you.
We'll put you on Kamala Harris's team.
There's a former Navy SEAL that came out. I don't have the article now because I had a bunch of stuff and I was just scribbling away and writing away, and then I'm just like, I can't get to all this. But this former Navy SEAL, he's also worked like security for like dignitaries and stuff like that. He even came out and he's like, look, this is either grossly negligence or did they just allowed it to happen? Like malice or freaking just terrible work, shoddy work. Now, he was like, when we did our job, if we didn't execute the basics every time, even if it wasn't a threat, they found out, hey, it wasn't a threat. If we didn't execute the basics in every moment like that, we're fired on the spot.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, yeah, it's a close call, guys, but you didn't do your job. Even though nobody actually shot, you didn't do your job, you're fired.
Yeah.
We can't risk that.
Yeah.
Have you heard of any of these people being fired?
No.
Not a single goddamn one of them.
Yeah.
He's like, these people look like they've never drilled before.
Yeah.
Like never once drilled.
Yeah.
Like this is the basics. Like this is what you train for.
Right.
This is what you should train for.
Yeah.
It's like every day it's just like, oh, what do we do if the president gets shot? Oh, we got to go over this one again?
Yeah.
Yep, let's just do it till it is muscle memory, tackle the president to the ground, kill the bitch that's shooting.
Right. Yeah.
And that's it.
What do you do if the president wants to stand up and shake a fist?
You tackle that bitch to the ground. Shoot the. And what if the president does? You tackle that?
Yeah.
The answer is always tackle that bitch to the ground.
Yeah.
Like just always, and it should be ingrained in you. Like you hear a freaking like candy cane break.
Yeah.
You tackle that bitch to the ground.
Right.
Just in case.
Yeah.
It's like you think if these people hated Trump that much, and they're just like, I don't want to be on Trump's detail. You think they'd want to tackle him to the ground?
Yeah,
It's like it's your chance to rough.
sorry.
It's your chance to rough your boss up. I
Right,
mean, it's your
yeah.
one opportunity to do that.
Get a nut shot in.
Yeah,
and let's go.
It's like, oh, it's just part of our job. It's
Right.
like, but you had to hit me in the nuts. It's like,
it's sorry, Mr. President.
We drill it like this.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
practice the way you play, I guess.
Right.
Nothing I saw. Like I've seen people come out and they're like, Secret Service is heroes for it's like Secret Service was not fucking heroes at all.
They dropped the fucking ball.
They dropped the ball so hard, and if there was a second shooter, he would have been dead.
Oh yeah, you
absolutely dead.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about the shooter because we haven't yet. We talked vaguely about him.
Yeah, Crooks.
So this is a BBC article that got into who he was, what we know about the
God, he
Trump
looks like
actor.
he's 12 years old.
Yeah, he's got braces on here. So this was a high school photo from 2022, so he'd been 18 in this picture. I'm just going to get down to where it talks about who he was, because, again, we know so little. So very little. No profiles coming out, no political backgrounds coming out, no racism, no nothing. No hate towards politicians.
Right. Big Kamala Harris fan, big Biden fan.
Is he?
No,
nothing
didn't
like
say
that.
any
Yeah.
of that. Yeah.
Is anybody though?
No, not really.
Thomas Crooks had not been carrying his ID, so investigators used DNA and facial recognition technology to identify him, the FBI said. He was from Bethel Park in Pennsylvania, about 70 kilometers. Oh, this is BBC. 43 miles here across the pond. 43 miles from the site of the attempted assassination, and graduated in 2022 from Bethel Park High School with a $500 prize for math and science, according to the local newspaper. Crooks worked in a local nursing home kitchen just a short drive from his home, where staff members said he passed a background check and raised no concerns. The Community College of Allegheny, or CCAC, has confirmed that Crooks attended the school between September of 21 and May of 24. He graduated with an associate degree in engineering science. In a statement sent to BBC, the college noted that he graduated with high honors and that a review of his records turned up no disciplinary, student conduct, or security-related incidents. The University of Pittsburgh also told the BBC that in February he was accepted as a transfer student there for the fall of the 2024 semester. The following month, he elected not to attend. State voter records show he was registered as a Republican. He also donated $15 to the liberal campaign group Act Blue in 2021. So on one hand, he's a registered Republican. On another hand, he's donating to. We talked about Act Blue, how it funds like the Democratic
BLM
Party
and stuff like that. But how many Democrats registered as Republicans for caucuses and primaries?
Now, that's one thing that a lot of people brought up, that he was just a plant registered as a Republican in order to kind of swing the election. I don't know about this kid. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm not saying that just because he donated to Act Blue, he might not have had a fucking clue that was connected to the Democrat Party. He might have just been
it may have been a BLM thing where he's like, oh, well, I feel bad that what's-his-face got killed. George Floyd got killed.
Yeah,
so.
Or somebody could have come up and been like, you want to donate to this cause for blah, blah, blah? He's like, yeah, here's $15.
Yeah.
Or it could have just been like at the end of something he was doing. It's like, you want to add $15 to Act Blue? He's like, sure, why not?
Yeah.
Who fucking knows? That's literally all it says about his political leanings. Is he's a registered Republican, and he donated $15 whole dollars to Act Blue. He had a membership at a local shooting club, the Clareton Sportsman Club, for at least a year. The club confirmed to BBC. The Vast Club is based south of Pittsburgh and is one of the premier shooting facilities in the tri-state area of Pennsylvania, Ohio, and West Virginia. It has more than 2,000 members. Multiple gun ranges include a high-power rifle facility with targets up to 171 meters away. The club's owner, Bill Solito, told BBC that the shooting was a terrible, terrible thing. Access to the club is tightly controlled with only members allowed inside. Obviously, the club fully admonishes the senseless act of violence, said Robert S. Brody III, who represents the organization. Law enforcement officials believe the weapon used to shoot Trump, an AR-style rifle, was purchased by Crook's father, according to investigators. It's unclear how the weapon came into his son's hand. That's not true. I might say it in this one. Apparently, the dad said that he uses his guns to go shooting all the time, and he's like, hey, I'm going to go to the gun range. Can I use your AR? He's like, yeah, no problem. So this says it's unclear how that's how he asked. He's like, hey, can I use your gun? He's like, yeah, that's fine. That's how it got into his hands. Says, speaking on condition of anonymity, two officers told AP that Crooks' father bought the weapon at least 6 months ago. Authorities say that he purchased a box of ammunition containing 50 rounds on the day of the rally. Police sources told CBS that he purchased a ladder at Home Depot before the shooting, although it's unclear if he brought it with him. According to U.S. media reports, Crooks was wearing a T-shirt from Demolition Ranch, a YouTube channel known for its guns and demolition content. The channel has millions of subscribers, featuring videos on different guns and explosive devices. The day after the shooting, law enforcement sources also told CBS that suspicious devices were found in Crooks' vehicles. According to CBS, the suspect had a piece of commercially available equipment that appeared capable of initiating the devices. Bomb technicians were called to the scene to secure and investigate the devices. Then it gets into his motivation. It says,
but did they find any devices?
They said there was suspicious devices in his vehicle. It didn't say what they found. It said bomb technicians were called. And then a piece of commercially available equipment appeared that he had on his person, a piece of equipment that could potentially be capable of initiating those devices if, in fact, they were bombs. But they haven't come out and said that they were bombs yet because who knows?
Right.
His motivation, we don't know. That's pretty much it. It says so far they've been unable to identify a motivation. So we don't know. That's literally what we know about this kid. He went to a high school. He liked to shoot guns. He bought a ladder. He bought some ammo. He donated $15 to Act Blue and was a registered Republican. And then he shot Donald Trump. Oh. That's all we know about this guy.
It's kind of fishy.
Yeah. Was he on an FBI watch list? That's what I'd like to know.
Yeah, right.
Doesn't sound like he was.
Would they tell you if he was?
I mean, we usually find out pretty dang quick. But
maybe
haven't told us.
Maybe the guy who got killed was an assassin and this guy was trying to save Trump's life.
Maybe. Right? The Secret Service sniper was going to take out Trump.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's odd that, like you said, usually if there's a shooter, whether it's assassin or something else, that there's
a profile.
Yeah, there's a profile. There's telltale signs. There's people that are like, oh yeah, we knew that was going to happen.
Well, there's like
right?
high school, like lab partners and shit that he went to school with that are like, no, never. And this chick was like, there's other kids in my high school that definitely I could see that, but not him. I'm just like, dude, Jimmy, he's definitely, you should keep an eye on him.
Yeah, right.
You should keep an eye on him. You should keep an eye, but him, no. No, I never would have suspected. He's a super nice kid, super smart kid. That's all I know about him. Never would have suspected.
Interesting.
I don't know. Again, must have read the wrong book.
Right.
I did read that his dad was a mental specialist of some sort, like a therapist or something. People trying to tie connections there. I don't even know if that's true or not, or if that's just speculation on Twitter or whatever. Who knows? Who knows what connection?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they just found the right sleeper agent, or maybe he's just a freaking. Maybe he just lost his shit and it's like, I just want to go kill somebody.
Yeah,
maybe he just read an article. It's like Trump is literally Hitler, and he's
Right.
like, somebody's got to take this bitch out.
Right.
They're not doing it, so I'm going to do it. Who knows? Or maybe the CIA got to him, laced his freaking Fruit Loops or something.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. There's nothing saying he was on antidepressants or SSRIs that I've read.
Yeah.
There's nothing about this kid. Who is this fucking kid?
Yeah.
And how was he able to do what he did, being the guy that he was,
Right.
being this like gamer nerd, freaking 20-year-old kid that liked to shoot guns? But how did he infiltrate this whole thing?
Yeah.
And was allowed to get close enough to shoot Trump in the ear?
Yeah.
Unless he was allowed to. I don't freaking know.
Right.
There's another article that kind of highlights what apparently they kind of tracked down a timeline of events in the days of this kid leading up to the shooting. So I kind of want to go through some of that. Some of that is a little interesting. It doesn't say a ton, but some of it's interesting. This is from ABC News. It says, in the days since the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump, the pieces have begun to come together about what the suspect shooter was doing leading up to the attack. The day before the shooting, Thomas Matthew Crooks went to a local shooting club and practiced on the rifle range. That's not unusual. It doesn't
Did he
sound
practice from 148 yards?
Exactly. The 20-year-old purchased ammunition shortly before the incident, both online and in person. Again, that's not anything, especially for a kid that shoots. Like, I don't shoot a lot, but I shoot some, so anytime I see deals on ammo, I usually pick some up. He asked his employer, a nursing home where he worked as a dietary aide, to take the day off on the day of the shooting, but said he would be back as soon as the next day, sources said. Sometime before the shooting, he searched the internet for both Trump and President Joe Biden. I've been seeing that one a lot lately, that the shooter was both searching Trump and Biden, who was researching, like he had searched for the rally, he had to search for the DNC, the Democrat National Convention. So either, A, he didn't have a clear target, he just wanted to make a statement against politics in general, against the election in general, or B, they're saying this shit. They found like one article on Joe Biden. They're like, see, he wasn't anti-Trump. He was just wanted to kill somebody to just kind of get off the fact that this was a plot against Donald Trump. I don't know. It says, search the internet for both Trump and Biden, as well as the dates of the Trump rally in Butler and for those of the Democrat National Convention in Chicago. Sources said he also left a message on the gaming platform Steam in which he said, July 13th will be my premiere. Watch as it unfolds. That's
odd.
It seems like lately all the shooters are doing it. It's just like, look for me on February 9th. It's going to be a big day. And everybody's like, oh, that was weird. And then it happens like, I bet that's what he was talking about. Just it seems convenient.
It does.
It seems too convenient. I don't know. I feel like it could easily be planted on his social media and backdated pretty easily these days. It says on the day of the assassination attempt, he asked if he could borrow his father's AR-15 style rifle, saying he planned to go to a shooting range. Because Crook's father had previously let him use the gun for target shooting, he was not suspicious that his son was planning anything of concern. Crooks went to a local gun shop that day where he bought 50 rounds of 5.56 ammo. He stopped at a Home Depot to buy a 5-foot ladder, though it was not found at the scene and is not believed to have been used to access the roof. He then drove. That's an odd size of ladder, first of all.
Right.
Have you ever seen a 5-foot ladder?
A couple times, but it's rare.
I saw one that was a wooden 5-foot ladder because the bottom legs broke, so the guy hacked off the bottom feet and turned it into a 5-foot ladder. I've seen lots of 6-foot and 8-foot and 4-foot ladders, 2-foot ladders even, but never have I seen a 5-foot ladder. It says he then drove to the Trump rally in Butler, parking about a third of a mile away at a gas station. So a third of a mile, he was able to get from the gas station to that building. It doesn't sound like he hid the rifle there ahead of time because he asked to borrow the rifle that day from his dad. So he carried said AR-15 from gas station to building to the roof without nobody being like, dude, what's that guy walking around with a fucking rifle?
Right, yeah.
Like, what were the people at the gas station doing when he gets out and he's carrying a rifle, like an AR?
Yeah.
I mean, was it cased? Does it matter? You'd still, unless it was like a very inconspicuous, like square case or something. Maybe had it in a guitar case. I don't know, but you'd think somebody would see something. For at least an hour before the shooting, Crooks was seen walking around the rally area. Crooks was seen in video obtained by Pittsburgh ABC affiliate WTAE, pacing just beyond the barriers or boundaries of the Trump rally at 5:06, around 1 hour and 5 minutes before shots were first fired. He was also seen walking around and near the magnetometers. What's a magnetometer?
I have no clue. I would guess it'd be some kind of like maybe like a weapons, like a like gun detector system,
maybe.
Metal detector.
He was also seen walking around or near the magnetometers minutes before the shooting, according to law enforcement. Some witnesses reported him as a suspicious person, law enforcement sources said. He made his way to a nearby building, climbing up air conditioner units until he was able to get on a roof of an adjacent building, according to sources. From there, he moved onto a taller building next to it. Just before he opened fire, rallygoers spotted him on the roof and tried to alert Secret Service. Okay, so we've got the 3 minutes prior, right?
This is bizarre.
Huh.
Apparently, it's a passive instrument that measures changes in the Earth's magnetic field, usually used in archaeology or ocean exploration.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know why there's magnetometers there. So we know about the 3 minutes prior that witnesses reported him. In an unclassified briefing Wednesday, law enforcement officials said 20 minutes passed when Secret Service snipers first spotted him on the roof and when he opened fire. He was identified as a person of interest 62 minutes before the shooting.
62 minutes?
62 minutes, because he was just kind of wandering around. They're like, oh, that guy's kind of weird. He's hanging out around our magnetometers. What's he doing there?
Right.
And then 3 minutes before, witnesses start saying, dude, he's got a gun. And then 26 seconds after shooting, Secret Service finally decides to take him out. Butler Township police officer attempted to stop the shooter, climbing up on the roof to approach him, but Crooks pointed his gun at the officer, prompting the officer to retreat. It was at this point that Crooks began firing his weapon towards Trump, who at that moment turned to look at the Jumbotron, possibly saving his life. Secret Service sniper shot back at Crooks, fatally shooting him in the head 26 seconds later, according to law enforcement officials. So that's the build-up. That's the events leading up in this guy's life and end of life.
You know what I think?
What do you think?
I think the mysterious blonde that was behind groomed him, seduced him, and recruited him to take out Trump.
Probably.
And when she was sitting in the crowd, again, she signals to him, and that was to take him out.
It's possible she was his handler.
I mean, the guy was an engineering student, right? Honors, right?
Right.
Marksman.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't he be kind of a perfect candidate?
You would think.
So
kind of not a super popular kid. I don't know. There's another theory floating around out there that this was a staged event by Donald Trump's team.
Possibly.
I mean, you brought that up originally, like when it
Yeah,
first
that was
happened.
my first thought. Yeah.
So what are your thoughts? What was your thought?
My first thought was, because I didn't realize anybody else. I had not known anybody else had gotten hit originally. I thought it was just Trump, right? And it sounded like the guy unloaded, like you said, 4 or 5 bullets.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really bizarre that nobody else had gotten hit.
Yeah.
Right. And so my first thought was, yes, it was staged. That's why, he made sure that he stood up and put his fist up and was like, fight. Yeah, people kind of panicked at the beginning, but then they kind of stopped, and then they all started cheering, shouting USA. I mean, it just seemed really perfect for Trump.
Right. Now, I feel like there's a lot of people in the world, like conspiracy theory-minded type people, that have kind of been duped into believing that the right wouldn't conduct, like the Republicans wouldn't conduct a false flag like this.
Right.
Like, it would definitely, if it was to happen on the other side, been like, oh yeah, that was definitely staged. Well, the left is coming out this time, which is funny. The left is always like
very
anti-conspiracy theorists, calling us like crazy cute conspiracy theory. But they're the ones that are like, dude, this was totally staged by Donald Trump, blah blah blah. And it's like, you're playing a dangerous game after what you did to Alex Jones.
Right.
You better be careful, especially considering somebody died in this, supposedly. You should probably be careful because you dish it, you can eat it sometimes.
I would love to see them get sued
for
this.
Yeah, that would be great. But I'm not dumb enough to think that the right wouldn't pull off a false flag.
Of course why wouldn't
9/11?
Yeah, right?
I mean, of all the Republicans, I would see Donald Trump's inner core being the ones to try to pull off some sort of freaking night of broken glass or something like that.
Right.
I mean, considering he is the America's Hitler, according to back in 2016, our vice president nominee, he literally called Donald Trump Hitler. So, I mean, if he is Hitler, then he would probably pull something like this off. Now part of me could see Donald Trump being like, dude, just shoot me in the ear. I mean, I've been wanting an earring anyway. Just shoot my ear.
Yeah, just don't miss. Don't miss the ear.
But then on the other hand, it's like, that is a really, really risky game to play.
Right.
Really risky.
I mean,
now, could it have been a blood packet, though? Just like, oh, I'm bleeding. Like, shoot off a couple shots, say, hit somebody to make it look real. And then he's like, oh, shit, I'm bleeding.
Right.
Keep fighting.
Yeah.
Keep fighting. And they're like, dude, that's totally ketchup.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Wait, is that molasses?
Yes. Now, Trump has been declaring himself a martyr for years.
Oh, of course
so
he is.
something like this. Could he stage something like this and could he pull it off? I don't know, but would he stage something? I could see that. It's just like,
he specializes in branding.
I'm a martyr.
That's what he does.
My brand is martyr. What if I actually got shot on stage?
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, just the ear.
Yeah.
That's
Just
really
wing me.
close to
Just
your
wing me.
brain.
Right.
It's like, all right, what about a blood packet? That's fine. Okay, fine. Graze my ear for the photo op. Randy, just shoot me in the fucking ear. It's like, we're not going to do that. All right, a blood packet. I mean, has anybody actually seen his ear since then? Have we seen the wound? I mean, he had the freaking white patch thing on his ear for the
apparently
DNC.
Everybody at the RNC is wearing white patches on their ear, right ear too.
Yeah, to support solidarity for his ear. It's so fucking dumb.
I know.
Now, until I see the gash in his ear or his lobe shot off or just like split or something like that, or him wearing a cool freaking, like, take the bullet and like use it and make an earring out of it and stick it in that hole. Till I see that, I mean, everything's up in the air. It's like, until I see the holes in his ear.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Then it's, I'm not saying I don't believe it. I'm saying it's up in the air.
Yeah.
Knowing the level of false flags that happen all the time here.
Yeah.
One way or another, this whole fucking thing is bizarre as shit.
It is.
Something is not right here. Something's fishy here. Either it was allowed to happen or it was staged.
Yeah.
Or just the gross incompetence of the
beyond gross incompetence
of the freaking Secret Service.
Yeah.
I don't know, but this shouldn't have happened. And now that it has happened, man, the response is so fucking toxic.
Oh, yeah.
On both sides. On both sides. We gotta get through it. I don't want to read all the responses, but you've got like so many TikTok videos of like lefters that are like, oh, look at you miss. You had one job.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking Tenacious D had to quit their tour because what's his nuts? Not Jack Black. The guy that's not Jack Black was like, dude, you shouldn't have missed. And then Jack Black's like, dude, I have a career. I want to I want to be the voice on the next Kung Fu Panda. You got to go.
Yeah.
So Tenacious D, I don't know if they broke up. They're indefinitely not touring at the moment.
Yeah.
The right's not doing much better, though.
No, they're not.
Let me see if I got any of this pulled up.
There was one I was trying to look at.
Wayne Root. This
Wayne
is from the Gateway Pundit. Listen to this shit. I told you Trump was the chosen one. What's happening is biblical. After the past 48 hours, everyone understands. Now listen to this guy. This is scary. I look at a life from a unique perspective as a true blue Barry Goldwater Ronald Reagan conservative patriot since age 3. Wow. I'm sorry for your upbringing. As a capitalist evangelist who has started dozens of successful businesses, as a blue-collar son of a butcher, he said, turned Ivy Leaguer, and perhaps most importantly, as a Messianic Jew, I took Christ as my Savior 34 years ago. I've written and spoken on my TV show so many times about the Trump miracle and about Trump being the chosen one, chosen by God for this moment. I even co-wrote the hit song and video about Trump titled The Chosen One. A hit song? A hit song called The Chosen One.
About Donald
Trump. Liberal heads exploded. Many mocked the song. I'm not liberal and I'm mocking. You're an idiot. Yet in the past month since it was released, The Chosen One has been viewed on TikTok over 680 million times. Who's laughing now? Probably the 680 million people that are watching it. Do you believe in miracles? Look at the past 48 hours. Trump avoids assassination by 1/4 of an inch. A miracle. Trump is endorsed by the world's richest man, Elon Musk, who has always hated him. I've never heard him say that he hates Donald Trump.
I've never heard him say that either.
I've heard him not support him, but be like, dude, you guys are doing Trump disservice here.
Yeah.
Now Elon gives a large donation to Trump's campaign. Miracle. Trump's classified document case is dismissed this morning on the first day of the RNC presidential convention. Miracle. I don't think that's a miracle.
No.
Don't forget the Supreme Court immunity decision only days ago. And pay attention to all the Wall Street and Silicon Valley billionaires joining forces with Trump for the first time ever. These are people who always hated and opposed Trump. The miracles and angels and hand of God are all around President Donald J. Trump. Now everyone can see. But I am proud to say I saw it first when few others did. The day Trump declared for president in June of 2015, when Trump was at 1% in the polls and many laughed his chances of winning, Fox News published my commentary titled, Donald J. Trump is our next president. Bitch, I said that the day that he announced it.
Yeah.
I called my brother and I was like, Donald Trump's going to be our next president.
Yeah.
And he even was like, it's not going to happen. I was like,
Yeah.
just watch.
I didn't
just
think it was
watch.
gonna
This guy,
happen.
it's going to happen. Donald Trump's going to be the next president.
Yeah.
Just because of the rhetoric he was saying was so like so polar opposite of everything that everybody hated about Obama. All the Republicans hate about Obama. He said all the things, and I'm just like, he's going to be the next president. Nope, it's not going to happen. So if you're a prophetic Messianic Jew, then I'm prophetic.
Well, maybe that could be.
I'm not a Messianic Jew, but
It's never too late to try.
I guess. In early 2016, Fox News published my commentary titled Christians for Trump that went viral. I declared Trump was the chosen one, hand-chosen and sent directly by God to be our warrior, our biblical-like barbarian to save both America and Israel. In 2019, while hosting my popular primetime Newsmax TV show, I created a global firestorm by calling President Trump the king of the Jews and the chosen one. I mean, this isn't borderline. What's it called?
Like
What's the word I'm looking for? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, fanatic.
No, like where you're blasphemy. This isn't borderline blasphemy.
It is
this
blasphemy.
Legitimate blasphemy.
Oh, yeah.
Like absolutely 100% legitimate
You're literally
blasphemy.
calling Donald Trump Jesus.
Yes. How can you call yourself a messianic? Well, I guess depends on which Messiah you're referring to.
Yeah.
Messianic, I guess. Trump thanked me 3 times the next day on Twitter, then walked onto the White House lawn and proclaimed, "I am the chosen one."
Oh, God.
In 2023, after all the indictments and persecution of Trump, I wrote multiple commentaries about the Trump miracle and once again branded him as the chosen one, chosen by God to be a warrior to make America great again. Then a month ago, I partnered with Platinum, selling Christian artist Natasha Owens and her Grammy-nominated team to co-write a song and video about President Trump titled Chosen One. Liberal heads explode. You already told us all this stuff. Now 600, you already told us all that too. You're very redundant. By comparison, Natasha Owens' mega hit, Natasha Owens' mega hit, Trump Won, and you know it went platinum and was nearly listened to 100 million times.
That was a real song?
Yeah.
Where do they play these things?
TikTok, apparently. After only a month, The Chosen One has received almost 7 times the listeners of a platinum hit. After all that occurred, the past 48 hours, perhaps you're starting to understand what's happening to Trump is supernatural, it's biblical, it's a miracle. Trump himself understands. He said today, it was God alone who prevented the unthinkable thing from happening. Liberal TV commentator Bill Maher said, I gotta say, he's the luckiest motherfucker that has ever walked the face of the earth. It's not luck, Bill. It's the hand of God.
Oh, God.
I don't know what's worse.
That's worse.
Come out and be like, why did you miss? Or, this is the Messiah.
Yeah. No, I would say this is worse.
Yes.
At least the people, the people that are, why did you miss? Or just 2 inches off. I mean, at least, okay, they're scared or they hate him, right?
Oh, there's more to this article. I forgot. I got to get down to the best part.
And
Sorry,
this guy is just, again, he's lifting him up like he's fucking Jesus.
He's not light. He literally is.
Yes.
Listen to this. This is even better. It says, with all that, the enemies of Trump in America never stood a chance. I was reading the Bible this morning, and I found the perfect verse that explains the success of Donald Trump. Isaiah 40:30-31 says, even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fail. But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up on wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Now, what kills me is that's like literally one of my favorite verses
mine
in
too.
the Bible.
Mine too.
He goes on to say, it's almost like God created this verse for Donald Trump in this moment in history.
Me sick.
I don't know if I like this verse so much anymore.
Yeah.
Like it was like this verse like kind of went over and over in my head in boot camp. It just kind of got me through boot camp. I almost got it tattooed on me, but I will not now.
Oh yeah,
I just won't.
Yeah,
because
don't let this guy steal that verse.
This guy's ruining so many things for me.
Just stop.
This is so bad. Trump is our energy. Trump renews our strength.
No,
so this is
no,
so what's I didn't even get to that part of it. I missed that. I thought they were saying this was for Donald Trump, like those that wait on the Lord.
Yeah.
Like Donald Trump did his waiting time. Now his strength's gonna be renewed.
Yeah. No.
That's not what this guy is saying.
No.
He then goes on to say, Trump is our energy. Trump renews our strength. With Trump, we mount up with wings like eagles.
No.
With Trump, we run. We are not weary.
No.
Dude, he's literally calling this guy.
Yeah.
He's literally calling him Jesus.
Yes.
He's saying
he is the second coming.
He is the Lord that we're waiting on.
Yeah.
Donald Trump, Lord Trump.
Yeah. Fuck that.
This is terrifying.
Oh, me too. Because how many other people believe this shit, right?
Probably plenty.
Well, yeah.
This was
if that
published
song
in
went number 1,
this was published in the Gateway Pundit, which is obviously very right-leaning, conspiratorial, very pro-Trumpy.
Yeah.
But this is the worst thing I have read.
I didn't like when people were attributing Obama is the savior. I don't like them doing
I
that
didn't
to
like
Trump.
even when they were referring to Obama as the Antichrist.
No, I didn't like that either.
Like none,
Yeah.
like or any of the presidents
Right.
are the anti. Like now this with Donald Trump, dude. This you are making this guy literally the Antichrist based on your your statements and your freaking infatuation. I guess I don't know. It's so weird.
Maybe this kid thought that Donald Trump's the Antichrist. Based on,
I guess.
I mean, I don't know. It's again seeing that kind something like that that scares the shit out of me.
Right. Now, left centrists, not the farther left, they were like, oh, they should have hit him. Left centrists had the right understanding.
Yeah.
Basically, their statement was, we're fucked.
Right.
I mean, there's no other way to put it with
Yeah.
Democrats. It's like somebody, I can't remember who it was. They didn't even say who it was. He was some like Democrat like strategist or something. He like was texting somebody else and he's like, dude, we're fucked. Dude, we can't come back from this. It's over. It's just completely fucking over. We're done.
Yeah.
And he's not wrong.
No.
Like, especially if the media keeps going the way it's going. Now they're trying to play this off not as bad by saying, well, it wasn't against Donald Trump. It wasn't a plot against. Do you think the right's going to fucking care that he Googled Joe Biden and the DNC? No. This was an attempt on their Lord and Savior, Donald Trump.
Yes.
The switcheroo
the
now.
swamp.
The switcheroo is fucking pointless now that we talked about last week.
Oh yeah, no,
like,
that doesn't matter.
Save Big Mike for the next round because Big Mike's not going to do anything in this round here, and this has totally reshaped this election cycle.
Fuck yeah.
We got to get into break. We're well over that because I want to get into the other news of the election cycle, how this affects it, kind of. But we got, like I said, the vice president guy, and we got Joe Biden's all of a sudden got COVID after 6 shots, and
Who saw that coming?
Yeah, who saw that like 3 months before election time, and he suddenly gets COVID? I think we actually said, "What if Joe Biden gets COVID?" Do you think it's possible Joe Biden gets COVID? Probably. Yeah. So we're gonna come back and talk about all that. You got anything else on this shooting stuff and the reaction?
I don't think anything else is gonna come up. I think both sides got their message across.
What's interesting is Joe Biden pulled all his campaign ads that night.
Fuck
it was just like, I can't say, because all of them were like, he's Hitler. He's literally Hitler.
Yeah.
They won't even say, because two things here. If in fact he's literally Hitler, like you're saying, then you have to be like, they should have killed him.
Right.
But as Joe Biden's more centrist team, he can't say, he's got to say, I'm glad they missed. But you can't say, I'm glad they missed. We got to come together when you're fighting fucking Hitler. So you are in between a rock and a hard place.
I guess I had heard that I guess Biden reached out to the family of the guy who got killed.
And they won't
answer his phone.
Won't answer his call. They're like, I don't want to talk to that fucking guy.
Yeah.
He's the reason we got killed.
Right.
He got killed. Yeah, but I read that too. But like I was saying, though, it's like, they have to restructure their whole campaign because they can't call him Hitler and stand up and be like, this should have never been allowed to happen. But if he was Hitler, it should have been allowed to happen.
If Biden came out, he's like, look, Don, this has gone too far. You know, we need to pull it back. We need to have united as a country. I
think that's kind of the direction he's going now.
But not good enough because he's already come out, flat out called him a liar and a fucking racist, and it's like, I'm not going to shake your fucking hand.
Right? Yeah. We got to get into break. We're going to come back and get into the VP shit, and then we'll end this thing, I guess. So don't go anywhere. We got a few more things to talk about. Let us know what you think about all this. Is it glowing with freaking FBI or CIA shit? Is this an op, or is it just total shit show?
The fact that there's so little information on this guy makes me think that, yes.
That is glowing, madly glowing. This is definitely a Fed op.
I think so.
All right. Well, think about it. We'll ponder through it over break. Get your drink because you probably need it. And we're going to come back and keep talking. So don't go anywhere.
Here it is.
What?
Oops.
It's gotta be great. Well, it's number one on the Christian charts.
Yeah.
So it's great. You know everything on the Christian charts.
Yeah, right. Oh God.
Bigley? Did she just throw Bigley in there?
She did.
I'm out. I can't fucking do it. No. Send that to me.
Well, that song was the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Billy, you must have had a hot mic.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, a friend of mine from work said I should listen to that song by Tom McDonald, and so I put it on to listen to it.
Which one was that? What's it called?
It's called You Missed.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, You Missed.
I don't want to hear it either. You can send it to me. I'll listen to it when I kill myself later.
Don't listen to the Chosen one. That was horrible.
That was even worse. We're back. Donald Trump got shot at, got his ear pierced.
I guess he's giving a speech now.
Oh, nice. I guess we're missing it.
Yeah.
So, another news. Have we beat the assassination thing?
I think we beat it to death.
I want to quickly talk about the another news part, because, like I said before the break, this has totally reshaped the election, how it's going. I feel like, because last week we were talking about how Joe Biden, they're like screwed up the freaking debates.
Yeah.
And then the Democrats were like, you should step down. And then he comes out in full force. He's like, I'm not stepping down. I'm strong as ever, blah, blah, blah. Which totally isn't true.
No.
And we were saying there's kind of a plot to like push him out.
Yeah.
Well, I think after this, when the Democrats realized we're fucked, they're like, dude, you don't have a chance.
Right.
Like none. Like I said before, I don't think any of them have a chance
at
this
either.
point.
Yeah.
Like, they might as well just write it out with Biden.
I think so. And I think rumor is that he's going to drop out. And he's not going to drop out because he knows he can't win. It's going to be a health crisis,
COVID,
like we talked about.
They're going to kill him off.
Right.
Yeah, because like they're saying like by this weekend that he's going to probably drop out. They're even pushing Kamala Harris. Like the odds now for Kamala Harris to win are so much better. I don't have any of the second half articles pulled up. Let's see if I can get them.
They're talking about who her running mates might be.
Yeah, they're talking about, and they're terrible. Like Gavin Newsom.
Right.
What were some of the others? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Let me see if I can pull this up. Did I send that one to you?
You did, actually.
Okay, so let me find that. Oh, geez, I'm so bad at this.
Let's see.
And like everything is freezing up.
There we go.
Here we go. Kamala's nomination odds soar after reports that Biden is to drop out this weekend. This is from Zero Hedge. All right. Let's pull this up so you can see it. Biden nomination odds collapse on reports of imminent withdrawal. Harris reportedly vetting running mates. Why? Like, why? I mean, yes, I get they probably have to. Yeah. Like, all the money goes to Harris.
Right. Exactly. That's why they have to.
And they probably see it as, well, it's better odds than Biden, but we don't want to throw Big Mike out there because that'd be a waste of.
We know Big Mike. We gotta wait until Big Mike actually has a chance.
Yeah. It says things are escalating. I mean, that's why Obama didn't run 2012, because he knew he didn't stand a chance against Obama.
Right.
He stood a better chance. I mean, an incumbent. It's hard to run against an incumbent unless it's Joe Biden.
Right. Yeah.
But they're not going to throw Big Mike in for the same reason. It's like,
they'll
Donald Trump's already won this. Let's throw Kamala in there. So when she loses and asks, can I run again in 2020? Excuse me, 28? And they're like, no, you lost one already. We can't risk you losing again.
Right.
So I wonder if it's almost just a plot to like get Kamala out of the way.
Probably.
I mean, it's a waste of a freaking election cycle at this point. Throw her in there.
Yeah.
Let's get Joe out, because if Joe runs and loses, Kamala will think that she's next in line for the next time.
Right.
So if we get rid of Joe anyway, even though we're going to lose either way, we put Kamala up there knowing she's going to lose, then we don't have to even entertain the thought of running her in 2028.
Clean slate.
And we can put all this fuck up on Kamala
and
get her out of the picture. It says things are escalating quickly with reports now that Biden could leave the race as soon as tomorrow. Washington Post reports that Nancy Pelosi believes Biden can be convinced to drop out soon, with Fox Business reporting that President Biden is expected to drop out as early as tomorrow. It says multiple sources outline the apparent state of play on Biden at this time. Plans to announce withdrawal from nomination as early as the weekend, with Sunday most likely. John Meacham polishing up remarks. Biden will not resign the presidency. Biden will not endorse Harris. What is happening? So they're pushing him out, it sounds like.
Right.
Open, or giving him COVID.
Right.
Open convention with Harris and about 3 others. Superdelegates will not be allowed to vote on the first ballot. Harris is vetting at least 4 possible running mates, including Andy Beshear and possibly Shapiro. It appears the situation has escalated. We already read that. Axios reports he could announce this weekend. Come on, let's get to something that's different. Obama has told allies in recent days that President Biden's path to victory has greatly diminished, and he thinks the president needs to seriously consider the viability of his candidacy, according to multiple people briefed on the thinking. The news prompted a surge in the odds of VP Kamala Harris getting the Democratic Party nomination and collapses Biden's odds. This comes after reports of yet more gaffes by the aging Biden as he read aloud a note passed to him by a staffer during a virtual call with Democratic caucuses. A staffer gave the 81-year-old president a note card with tips as he attempted to persuade members of the Congressional Progressive Caucus Saturday that he was fit to serve and able to defeat former President Donald Trump on Election Day. Stay positive. You are sounding defensive, Biden said on the call, seemingly reading directly from the short missive. You can't make this up anymore. Visualizations of Democrats right now. Here's all the Democrats fighting over the ring. Democrats are now running with a new slogan, "Make America Great Again." I'm not kidding.
Are they serious? Are they really?
I don't know. Should I play? Dare I play?
Yes, this November we're going to make America great again.
Oh, I don't even know who was that.
I don't know who that is.
As we detailed earlier, calls for Biden to call off his re-election bid are not only growing more numerous, but also more powerful, as 3 top Democratic officials, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries have all reportedly told the president his campaign is worse than hopeless. Suggesting a coordinated effort, news about 3 separate conversations that happened in the last week all dropped Wednesday. The gap between the discussions and reports is likely attributed to a desire to first give Biden a chance to bail out gracefully race before out of the race gracefully, I think it meant, before more pressure was added using leaks to the media. Pelosi was said to have shared specific polling results indicating Biden has no path to victory. That's shitty of her, because all that does is drop his stock.
Right.
I mean, you tell the public that a stock's going down. What happens to that stock? It continues to go down. Yeah. And that is continued presence atop the 2024 ticket could doom the Democratic Party chances of retaking control of the House. According to sources, Biden insisted he can win, saying he's seen polls that give him hope and it's a closer race than others are saying.
Those are coloring books, Joe.
Trying to bolster, that's why I laughed. I was picturing him with whatever polls they're giving him. Trying to bolster her case, Pelosi asked longtime Biden advisor Mike Donilon to join the call to review the numbers. According to a Thursday report in Axios, top Democrats think Biden may decide to drop out as soon as this weekend. The seeming next step for Pelosi and others would be a public statement urging Biden to quit. The speaker does not want to call him to resign, but she will do anything in her power to make sure it happens. So, yeah, there's that. And it sounds like he's pushing back, and they're getting more forceful, and he's continuing to push back, and they're getting, resorting to public statements, and he's pushing back. So then I guess that leads us to COVID.
Right.
I mean, Biden now has COVID.
You think they slipped some in his ice cream?
Something, or just put a pillow over his face and said, "Oh, it's COVID. He can't breathe." I don't know, but one way or another, he's not going to run.
No.
So there's that side of the coin. Do you think he's done after this week? Like they're saying as soon as late as Sunday, as early as possibly potentially tomorrow, he might.
Yeah,
be done.
I could see that. I could see him being done by the week. Well, let's see. Let's think of the news cycle here. Monday.
You
I
think
bet.
by Monday?
Yeah.
Sunday night, Monday, somewhere in
Yeah.
there. So on top of that,
they'll want to lead with that.
yes. On top of that, Donald Trump has come out and declared his running mate.
Yes.
And it's no Mike Pence, that's for sure.
No, thank goodness.
Thank goodness. There's so much mixed stuff about this guy that
Yeah.
I feel like they're actually scared of this guy.
Hmm.
Because based on what, like, he's super conservative.
Yeah.
Like as far as his like social leaning, like the social elements of it, like he's anti-abortion, he doesn't support gay marriage, he doesn't like all the things that a right-leaning person would vote for.
Right.
It's weird because he's like I said before, he was a never Trumper, and suddenly he's all of a sudden for Donald Trump. And I don't know what to think about that. Like, I don't know, because people can change their mind.
Right.
Like, I don't know, maybe he saw something great in him, or maybe he just saw a fucking chance.
Right.
You know, he's like,
Yeah.
this might, like somebody might have whispered, it's like, dude, you're not going to go anywhere politically. This is the future of the Republican Party.
Yeah.
You can be a never Trumper all you want, but you're going to be stuck in as this freaking junior freaking Senate seat for the rest of your life.
Or you can be heir apparent to the Trump throne.
It's like, do you want to be a one-termer, or do you want to be the next in line?
Right.
This from the Associated Press. Associate Press says GOP vice presidential pick Vance revisits Appalachian roots as bitter divide over memoir lingers. There's so many things about it. So this was just to kind of get you an idea of who this guy was, because I didn't fucking know who he was.
Yeah.
I hadn't even heard of the movie.
I had heard of the movie someplace. I'd seen him talking about it and them talking about this movie, and I remember thinking like, oh, well, that's interesting. That looks like a decent movie.
Yeah.
But then I just slipped away.
When was the last time you saw a guy with Appalachia roots at the top, in the top positions here?
Davy Crockett.
I mean, like for freaking vice president or president or a high seat like that. Now, what's interesting is this is the first millennial to be at that top executive level in politics. He's 39 years old, which is relatively. How old was JFK when he became president? Was it 43?
I think he was 43. Yeah.
So I mean, if let's say Donald Trump gets shot the next day and he's going to be the youngest president.
Right.
Because how old was Clinton when he became president?
46, I think.
Yeah.
Obama was really young.
Yeah, but they were all in their 40s at least. So this from Associated Press. It says, newly minted vice president nominee J.D. Vance built his Wednesday night speech to the Republican National Convention around his own Appalachian roots. Again, you got to watch this movie, even if you're not a Vance fan, even if you're not a Trump fan. There's nothing political about this movie at all. From my perspective, there's nothing political. It is literally, it's based around his book, his memoirs. It's literally about this kid that grew up poor, had a freaking abusive, drug-addicted mom, and he had this freaking, like, rough-ass grandma that kind of put him in his place.
Yeah.
And made him, like, get good grades in school. He worked his ass off, and the whole time trying to deal with his mom's drug abuse, went on to, like, get into Yale.
Okay, so Kennedy was 46.
Maybe it's the other way around, 46 and 40.
The youngest ever was, let's see. The youngest ever was Teddy Roosevelt at 42.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Says, long before he was a U.S. Senator from Ohio, Vance rose to prominence on the wings of Hillbilly Elegy. That's the name of his book that the movie was made out of. It says, memoirs that many thought captured the essence of Donald Trump's political resonance in a rural white America ravaged by joblessness, opioid addiction, and poverty. Now, again, I don't know what the book says and how political it gets. The movie didn't feel political to me. It was rural, Appalachia, mixed Ohio and Kentucky. So Midwest mixed with Appalachia, kind of blue collar, grown up poor, and kind of working your way to the top. Yes, it was predominantly white, but you're talking the 80s, 90s in Appalachia.
Right. The Rust Belt.
Predominantly white.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, I don't know, but I didn't feel there was any politics in it at all.
Yeah.
Said the 2016 book set off a fierce debate in the region. Many Appalachian scholars thought it trafficked in stereotypes and blamed working-class people for their own struggles, without giving enough weight to the decades of exploitation of coal and pharmaceutical companies that figure prominently into Appalachia's history or Appalachia's story. Now, what you got to realize is this is a memoir. This is coming from his perspective.
Right.
He's not an Appalachia scholar like you are. He didn't probably realize
sounds
all
like an oxymoron.
Appalachia
scholar.
Now, he probably didn't realize all the backstory behind what kind of exploited that region.
Right.
He grew up with working class people. The stereotypes are what he saw, and he's just expressing what he saw and how he felt during that time as a child growing up in Ohio and Kentucky.
Yeah.
2000 says some of the resentment sparked by the book crossed party lines. So it says, a lot of us born and raised natives of Appalachia are just highly sensitive to the fact that knocking hillbillies is the final frontier of accepted prejudice in America, said T.J. Letafik, an Eastern Kentucky Republican political consultant and Trump supporter. I want to say he was knocking hillbillies because there's a scene in the movie where somebody calls that the people from Kentucky, it's nice somebody like you gets out from all the rednecks, and he got like super pissed, and he almost blew his interview into Yale because of that, at least according to the movie. Like I said, I don't know how much creative liberties they took in the movie. So I don't feel like he was knocking that culture at all.
Right.
He was showing a side of that culture, and then he was also like standing up for that culture in the movie. Letafik said he would vote for Trump no matter who he chose as vice president, but Vance was not anywhere near the top of his list. That's in part because Vance had strong words to say against Trump around the time the book was published. Now, this is weird to me because he even suggested that Trump might be America's Hitler in a text to a former roommate that later became public. Letafik, who read Hillbilly Elegy, subtitled A Memoir of a Family and Culture in Crisis, and saw the 2020 film adaptation, said Vance might come off as condescending to some voters, but he called the senator dynamic and intelligent and said Vance's accomplishments are undeniably impressive. I think to me and to a lot of my friends, J.D. Vance is somewhat of an enigma. Letafik said, we appreciate some of his recent convictions, but based on past history, there's a hesitancy there. He said he's open to giving Vance a chance if he's willing to show his commitment to rural and blue-collar Americans by protecting them from policy proposals like those that would roll back expanded Medicaid, especially for drug treatment. Vance was raised by his grandparents in Middleton in southwestern Ohio, while his mother, whom he introduced during his speech Wednesday, battled an addiction he said she said put behind her 10 years ago. Or she put behind her 10 years, so she's 10 years sober.
Gotcha.
He spent a significant amount of time traveling to Kentucky with his grandparents to visit family and said he hoped to be buried in a small mountain cemetery there. He vowed in the speech to be a vice president who never forgets where he came from. Many conservatives loved the book. Among them were some who lobbied for Vance to be Trump's vice presidential pick. They included Donald Trump Jr., Kevin Roberts, who leads the Heritage Foundation, and Turning Point USA's Charlie Kirk. So he's got some mega Trump guys supporting him. Let me get rid of some of these other articles that are probably slowing up my internet. In an interview before Vance was selected, Illinois native Kirk said he thought both the book and movie were excellent. It's incredibly persuasive, and he's lived the experience that many Trump voters have. So it's not talking down to Trump voters or people in the Midwest. He grew up in southwestern Ohio in Appalachia, raised by his mama, and understands kind of how that part of the world stopped working. And he also knows, of course, he also now, of course, has an agenda and a vision and a passion to try to bring it back to prominence and greatness. Roberts, a native of Lafayette, Louisiana, said he couldn't put the book down after discovering it, so true was it to his own life story. So it just talks about this guy. I mean, all we really know about him is what was in that book and his kind of life experience. But, I mean, it definitely pulls you in, and it makes things kind of personal, like the addiction, his kind of struggle to kind of pull himself out of all that mess and still still end up putting himself in I think it was Ohio State from his GI Bill because he was in the Marines.
Oh, okay.
And then to work his way into Yale and graduate Yale.
Yeah,
I mean, that's pretty impressive.
phenomenal.
That's pretty impressive from a small town kid.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where it was. Small town kid getting into Yale.
Right.
That's pretty freaking impressive. There's not nearly as many opportunities in them small rural towns.
You got to know somebody or have some money.
Exactly. Now, the interesting part is kind of his flip on everything. That's what I'm not sure on. Yeah. And again, I'm not sure on this guy
Was
either
it just
way,
a flip on Trump or a flip on his values?
See, that's what. Let's get into this article because they almost make it sound like he's a flip-floppy guy, but it sounds more like just a flip on Trump because he's always kind of been like anti-abortion, like he kind of stands out from some Republicans though because he's like not super big into taxing except for like corporations. He like hates corporations, which I can get on board with hating corporations.
Absolutely.
Let's see. This is from The Grio. It says, vile, crass white nationalists. Critics call out VP nominee J.D. Vance's flip-flop on Trump's racism. So you see how they're already bashing this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, never had a word to say about this guy,
vile
really.
and crass.
And a white nationalist. Yep. Years before his embrace of Donald Trump, Vance argued the Republican presidential nominee rhetoric would cause white people to become more racist over time. So now he's a white nationalist because he's running with Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Even though he's called him out for some of his racist policies, what he considered racist policies, now he's like, I'm on Trump's side. I mean, what if he's like, I could pull him back kind of to reason.
Absolutely. Right.
Like, I could make him a little more reasonable.
That's why they put Pence as his running mate back in 2016 because they thought that he'd be able to pull him back.
I mean, how much shit did Kamala Harris talk about Joe Biden before running as his running mate? Like, that's what they do.
Yeah.
It says, though you would never know it today, before he was selected as Donald Trump's VP running mate, J.D. Vance repeatedly called out Trump and the Republican Party's politics of racism. However, years later, the senator from Ohio emerged as a carbon copy of the former president based on many of his views.
Carbon copy, huh?
Including those about race. Critics who spoke with the Grio slammed Vance for his duplicity, noting that when it became politically expedient, he adopted the very ideologies of Trump he once denounced. He ran on a brazen white nationalism. He ran on brazen white nationalism, said Reese Colbert, a political commentator and host of SiriusXM's The Reese Colbert Show. He made a calculation which turned out to be correct, that by going all in with the white nationalist party, he was going to go further. Now, one thing I did notice is they're like, in his speeches at the RNC, he's not talking about the idea of America. He's talking about the homeland. You know where they're going with this, like the motherland, the fatherland, whichever.
Yeah.
Super nationalism. Right. He calls it the homeland a lot. And that's obviously nationalistic speech. Because he won't talk about the idea. He's talking about our like they're so reaching in the things that they fucking say. Like, listen to some of this. In 2016, Vance told PBS NewsHour, "This is definitely an element of Donald Trump's support that has its basis in racism. Race is definitely a part of Trump's phenomenon." Now, I would agree that the Trump phenomenon is based a lot in racism. Yeah. I'm not saying Donald Trump is, but a lot of his supporters.
He attracts a lot of white nationalists,
white racists, like hands down racists. Take a thing that he says about immigrants and blow it way into racism, into fucking racism. The Trump people are certainly more racist than the average white professional, Vance told Politico the same year. And I would say there's probably some truth to that too. It says, The hillbilly elegy author, who at the time was embraced as a sort of sage of white poor and working class Americans, warned that Trump's rhetoric would cause white people to become more racist over time. Vance's calling out of Trump on his perceived racism was seen as refreshing conservative taken amid years of racially tinged attacks on America's first black president, Barack Obama, which became a party norm. However, 6 years later, when he ran for U.S. Senate in 2022, trailing his opponent in a crowded primary, a new J.D. Vance emerged. In a campaign ad, he appeared to embrace elements of the Great Replacement Theory, a white nationalist far-right conspiracy theory that black and brown people are replacing white Americans. Now, you want to hear how he embraced the Great Replacement Theory?
I do.
This is what he said. Are you a racist? Do you hate Mexicans? The media calls us racist for wanting to build Trump's wall. They censor us, but it doesn't change the truth. Joe Biden's open border is killing Ohioans, and more illegal drugs and more Democrat voters are pouring into this country.
Wow.
That's his elements of the Great Replacement Theory, is there's Mexicans coming across the border.
Right. Yeah.
And some are killing people.
Yeah.
And they're calling us racist.
And he's criticizing the open border. So.
Yes, he's criticizing the open border, and that's his elements of the Great Replacement. And they say this in this article 3 or 4 times, that he embraces the Great Replacement Theory because he criticized the open border.
Right.
Colbert, noting Vance espousing the Great Replacement Theory in support of the anti-Black Lives Matter shooter Kyle Rittenhouse, told the Grio, "This is a person who is very, very dangerous to the black community." So A, he was opposed to the open borders.
Mm-hmm.
B, he kind of supported Kyle Rittenhouse, which so did we.
Yep.
He's very dangerous. Very, very, very dangerous. 3 varies to the black community.
Wow. I wonder if the black community knows that.
I don't know. She said the Trump's campaign selection of Vance as VP nominee shows Republicans are going all in on the white working class and white rural voters. She added they're doing so at the absolute expense of making any kind of inroads with the black voters and with people of color and with women. Ironically, Vance argued in a leaked private text message from 2016 to a former Yale roommate that the Republican Party needed to expand its tent to black people. He also called Trump America's Hitler. This was what he said. We are, whether we like it or not, the party of low income, low education white people. I have been saying for a time that we need to offer those people something, and hell, maybe even expand our appeal to working class black people in the process, or a demagogue world. So they're saying he was on the right track. It almost sounds like he's like, and maybe we'll get. It almost sounds more racist than he does now.
Shit, let's reach out to the black people.
Maybe even black people if that's what it takes. I'm surprised they're not pounding. It's like we can't call him racist then and call him anti-Trump then. But like our hands are gonna explode.
When does he call Trump the next American Hitler? Was it the demagogue?
I'm not sure. Maybe I haven't seen it,
which is extremely subtle and not really.
Right.
I don't know.
Marcus Batchelor, that sucks. Marcus Batchelor, national political director at People for the American Way, said, despite his past critiques of Trump, Vance has weaponized the Great Replacement Theory now. Now he's weaponized it. Now there's not just elements of it. Now he's weaponized it by saying, this border kind of sucks. Championed anti-equity and inclusion legislation and accused Democrats of usurping white votes with immigrant ones. Those ideas are now the center of Project 2025 and the GOP platform approved this week in Milwaukee. A Trump-Vance administration will do everything in their power and expand their authority to turn back the clock on race in our country. The Trump-Vance agenda on immigration, abortion, public education, workers' rights, voting rights, and many other issues will have the most negative impact on black and brown Americans. As a senator, Vance introduced a bill that called for all diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and funding to be eliminated from the federal government. Project 2025, a 900-page manifesto, I like how they call it a manifesto, that lays out a policy agenda for a second Trump administration, proposes a similar purge of DEI. Colbert points out that Vance is a close ally of Russell Vought, a former Trump White House official who authored part of Project 2025. He's the standard bearer of the new right. That's what they're calling it, she said. Or are you just calling it that?
Yeah, right.
I think J.D. Vance is going to be very much out front, taking up the Trump mantle and actually pushing it even more extreme. What do you think of all this so far? I think they're scared of this guy.
I think they're very scared of him, and I think that
they're just trying to get in front of him and be like, do you really want to vote for... First of all, appealing to Trump voters, like, this guy didn't even like Trump before.
Yeah.
What's he going to flip-flop on next time? And on the other hand, they're like, this guy is a white supremacist, and he is weaponizing the Great Replacement theory.
Yeah.
This guy is very, very bad for brown people and black people. Very, very, very bad. Trump's a racist. This guy's more racist.
He's going to make Trump even more racist.
Yes,
now.
and he's going to... they called him the... what do they call him? The flag bearer, pretty much, for Donald Trump, and he's going to take up the mantle and make it even worse. I don't know. I don't know much about this guy. From what like I said, all I know is what I saw in the movie.
Yeah.
And I don't see anything. Like, just watching the movie, like I said, kind of makes me, like, hesitant. Like, it almost makes me want to consider voting for them just because of this guy. Because he just seems like a down-to-earth human guy that went through struggles and pulled himself up. And it's just like, Donald Trump, like, he's polar opposite from Donald Trump, raised with a freaking silver spoon, everything handed to him. This guy was absolutely not, like, came from literal shit and worked his way to this top. So this guy is going to appeal more. Even though Donald Trump appeals with the poor white voters anyway, this guy is going to connect more with the poor white voters.
And that's what scares them, is he has a chance to one-up Trump, right? Where Trump is the beginning of the whole MAGA movement. This guy embodies it.
Yeah, he's the new MAGA is what they're calling it. He's like the millennial MAGA. Now, one thing that I like about this guy is he is anti-Ukraine, like more funding to Ukraine.
That's awesome.
On the other hand, he's very pro-Israel.
Oh, well.
I mean, we do have the King of the Jews that he's running for, so he has to be pro-Israel.
That's true. That's true.
So, I mean, you can't be anti-Israel and be running mate with the King of the Jews.
That's true. Yeah.
So, from what you've read, seen, or heard about this guy, what are your thoughts on him?
I mean, yeah, he seems like you said, a blue-collar guy. You know, he seems like
Seems like the guy Joe Biden tries to say that he is.
Exactly, yes. And that's probably what scares them. He seems like a Republican Barack Obama.
Right.
Right?
I mean, there are people comparing it because, I mean, he's a junior senator prior to taking this high position, not running for president necessarily, but he wrote his memoirs just like Barack Obama did. A young guy like Barack Obama was, kind of a nobody from like a low level society.
Is he married to a man too?
He's not. He's married.
Okay.
His wife's name is Usha.
Usha?
She's Indian. She's from India.
Oh, that's interesting.
I think he went
Any
to
connections
school
to
with her.
Vivek? Oh yeah, he's a buddy of Vivek.
Really?
Ramaswamy. Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
they went to school together actually.
Okay,
They're
so
school buddies.
Maybe Usha knew him. Maybe
that could be.
came over on a boat together. I don't know. I don't know. Derek says maybe someone should run a younger candidate for president. That's not the Libertarian Party, or that's not the Libertarians' Party poor choice of Chase Oliver. Now, what's interesting, I feel that I'm going to get shit for saying this, but if JD, is that his name?
Yeah.
If he was running, I would be more lenient or more hesitant to vote for, not more hesitant. I'd be more convinced to vote for this guy over Donald Trump. The fact that he's Donald Trump's running mate, I'm like, eh.
Right.
But just kind of hearing, like, he's convincing is what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm not saying I support everything he supports. I'm not saying I would vote for him because he's another fucking Republican and another cog in the system. And probably the only reason he changed his stance on Trump is because they're like, this is the way the party's going.
Yeah.
You either get on board or you're a one-termer and done.
Right.
Do you have political aspirations? You need to get on the Trump train.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, I could play out the Trump train for a
I
while.
can play ball.
It's like, I support this. And he doesn't have to come out and say, I agree with everything that Donald Trump says.
Yeah.
He could be like the freaking what Trump's missing,
Right.
and could pick up the slack that
which
Trump,
is what a running mate should be.
It should be. It shouldn't be
Right.
just a yes,
Right.
a fucking yes man.
Whereas
I mean,
Kamala Harris just is the colored female component, right?
Now,
Checks
do you
the
think?
boxes.
Do you think this guy is the white nationalist that they're saying it is?
No.
I haven't really heard him speak yet, so I don't know. Maybe he came up and pounded his fist and read Mein
I
Kampf
doubt
out loud, but I
Yeah.
doubt it.
I mean, the fact that he's married to an Indian woman.
Yeah, that
kinda
should say
takes
something.
away the brown component.
That
right?
should say
Yeah.
something. I didn't even
Yeah.
think about that. It's like, yeah, he hates brown people. He only likes white people, but he's married to a brown person. It's like I feel like he has that card that he can throw up anytime they throw out the racist thing. It's
Right,
like brown wife, brown
He's
wife.
better than Obama because he got to where he is through working for it, not by who he knew.
That's
right?
another thing that I was thinking when you brought up Obama. I just wasn't going to go there because I don't know. Maybe this guy does have some backers too that we're not aware of.
Possibly, but on top of that, he's got the military experience too, which Obama never had.
Obama didn't have it.
Neither Trump does.
Trump dodged it because of bone spurs or something, and this guy has it. And I mean, that's going to get him closer with the Republican vote, I would think. So I don't know.
I mean, he's a good choice. So
now, what happens if Trump does get ultimately assassinated, like tomorrow? Does this guy have what it takes to win over whatever the Democrats are going to throw? Will he win over Joe Biden, first of all?
I think I could win over
I think
Joe
just about
Biden.
anybody would win over Joe Biden. Would he win over Kamala?
I think so.
Would he win over Big Mike?
That might be tough.
That might be a tough one.
Yeah.
Because Big Mike has almost the same background
and the same equipment downstairs.
Yes. Yes. I think Donald Trump's, if Donald Trump stays alive after post assassination attempt, Donald Trump wins against anybody. I think if they take out Donald Trump,
unless
if they
can
succeed,
somehow tie the shooter back to Trump,
that
in the staged event.
That would Trump supporters.
Oh.
Would they lose faith in Trump if that was the case, or would they be so they're like, well, he did what he's got to do to get it done?
Probably. Unfortunately,
Donald Trump had to do this because
I think
it's all trust the plan. Trust the plan.
Yeah, right. Unfortunately, yes, there would be those who made the Chosen One song number one believe that
Would there be enough of them?
No.
To
I don't think so.
win the election.
I know.
No?
I think he would lose all credibility. I think he would lose.
He'd be Jesse Smollett of freaking white supremacy.
Yes, exactly. Even worse.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because 2 people died and 2 more were injured because of
1 person died, I think.
the shooter too.
Oh, and then there's the shooter. So
because
there's always that, I guess.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I mean, if they somehow this is tied back to him, I think that reverses all this shit.
We'll see how this plays out, I guess.
It'll be interesting.
What's your prediction for this election now?
I think that I think Biden drops out. They give Kamala the reins. She probably
fucks it up majorly. They intentionally fuck her up.
Yep. Trump gets elected, but they try to hamstring him the whole 4 years.
They rig it so bad to make it look like Kamala is a total fuck up.
Yeah.
But then they somehow tie it back to Trump and say that this all happened because they spend the next 4 years throwing it back on Trump. And Kamala probably goes to a mental institution where she belongs. And then they run Big Mike in 2028.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that.
Any more assassination attempts in the near future, you think?
Yes, but I think Secret Service is going to be better.
You think they'll do a better job?
Yeah, I
think
they'll
they'll
be on it. Well, they're on
Gerard
notice.
Butler.
Everybody's watching them.
We don't want to lose funding, guys. I don't know.
What if Biden gets assassinated?
Well, I think Biden's going to die of COVID. I'm still sticking with that one.
I think he will too.
I think he's going to develop pneumonia probably in the next 2 or 3 days. Yeah. And then they're probably going to 25 him.
Yeah.
And then
he'll step down.
He'll step down from the
and then
campaign.
He'll be dead in 2 weeks.
Then Kamala will just get the shittiest, like shittier than
but
Hillary.
At the DNC, Kamala will send a tribute to Biden because he went out.
Thoughts and prayers?
Thoughts and prayers.
Send lots of thoughts and prayers.
Yeah. Hey guys, let's win this one for Joe. Let's win this one for Uncle Joe.
Yep.
Right?
Let's finish what Joe started.
Yep.
And that'll
And
be your
that's-
campaign slogan. Let's
Yep.
finish what Joe started.
Let's do it for Joe, and that's gonna go.
It's gonna tank hard.
Yup.
They're gonna be like, "That was your idea for that slogan.
Yeah.
We're never running you again."
Nice call, Kamala.
Even though they planted it. in
Tulsi
her
was
brain.
right about you.
Yes. It seems like the most likely scenario. We're not always right on our predictions.
No.
I feel like I'm right on the fact that Democrats don't have a prayer
and
unless they succeed the next time.
And I think yes, I think they're going to be like, you know what? Let's not waste Big Mike on this one. Let's save her for 28.
What do y'all think out there? What are your predictions on this? Because our predictions keep going to shit because something else keeps happening. Like we knew it was going to be good,
right? Yeah,
we didn't know it was going to be this good,
right?
What are your thoughts on J.D. Vance? Is he a breath of fresh air for the Republican Party?
I need to listen to his speech and see what it says. You know, to see if it's worth anything.
What do you guys think? Because I don't know a lot about him besides the movie, besides the couple articles we just read tonight. You think he's a white supremacist with an Indian wife? Do you think he's
should be a movie?
Do you think he's weaponizing the Great Replacement theory? Do you think he is like? Because I've seen posts that are like, a Trump Vance ticket is the most dangerous thing for abortion rights, which they're probably right. They're probably right about that.
They're throwing this up there to scare people.
Well, yeah, because that's the only thing they've had.
But that ship has sailed. It's gone to the States. It's not even in the hands of the president. I know.
They want it to be like it never was even the president's decision to
like,
send it to the States.
If we're elected president, then we're bringing it back, right?
That's how it happens. Because how many Republican presidents said, if I'm elected, I'm getting rid of abortion. I'm anti-abortion. It's like, so you're voting for a guy that can't do jack shit about it. And that's what it always came down to. Like in my family, it was super conservative. One of the big things was abortion. Very anti-abortion family, which... but that was like, well, we're always going to vote for the guy that's against abortion. And now in my adulthood, I'm like, but how much power does that person have? Like, because I remember when George Bush Jr. was elected, that would have been 2000. I would have been 15. And that was like it. Well, I remember thinking that Bill Clinton was the one that made abortion illegal or made abortion legal just because of the rhetoric in my household, just like, well, he's pro-abortion and then he's elected. And now that was, I mean, you're talking 1991. I was 6 at the time. I barely knew what abortion was. And you say, well, this guy is for abortion. And all of a sudden I know what abortion is and it's legal in this country, which it has been for years. I didn't know that because it was the first day I'd ever heard about it. It's like Bill Clinton brought abortion. And then when George Bush was elected, it's like, well, abortion's going to go away, right?
Yeah.
No, it didn't.
Just federally funded abortion.
Yes. So, I mean, standing on one ideology isn't necessarily the way to play politics, and that's how Donald Trump gets the evangelical vote, was by saying, yes, I'm anti-abortion, even though I probably paid off like 60 hookers to get abortions. I'm anti-abortion. They're like, oh, this guy's good. He's a Republican and he's anti-abortion. And he's the chosen one and the king of the Jews.
Right, yeah.
It's crazy how that escalated from, he's anti-abortion to now he's the king of the Jews.
I still remember what pivoted, kind of catapulted him to the chosen one status is when he quoted the 2 collisions.
Yes, that was my favorite.
Yes.
I don't know. This is all a shit show. Even with J.D. Vance, the Appalachia guy, it's still a shit show. He's playing politics. He's playing them well.
Yeah.
And good on him for his background. Good on him for playing the game, I guess.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know.
I think, man, Trump has a real opportunity to, he could stack his cabinet.
Oh, absolutely. And I think he plans to. I think that's part of that Project 2025.
Yeah, I think he is going to just stack the shit out of that. And it's...
Tell him to do away with the Fed. Then I'll be...
and
end all the wars.
Yeah.
And...
Well, we did
and taxes.
We did our 2025 Project 2025 show.
We?
Yeah, and we went through it because that was the big fear thing that they were putting out there.
Yeah, the kind of
was
Republican.
That he was they were gonna take power and get rid of the federal.
Yeah, I remember that. I forgot it was called Project 2025. But apparently Vance is on board with that, and he's going to usher in Project. He's friends with one of the authors. He's friends with
you go.
him. That makes
Yeah.
him means he's part of it, right?
Yeah. And I mean, all it is they're cutting 80% of the federal government.
Good.
Yeah,
Let him.
I agree.
Just do away with all the shit.
I agree.
So
Do away with it all.
I don't know. Let us know what
Will
you
be
think.
Interesting.
It's going to be interesting. It just keeps getting better every
next
week.
Next show could be Bye Bye Joe.
It could be. It could be a tribute to the late.
Yeah.
Just the late Joe Biden. I was going to say late great.
No,
just
just
late.
late, just
Joe
late.
Biden. We'll see how that happens. We'll see how this plays out in the future, I guess.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for the next for next week's episode. We can almost do a preview
Yeah, I know,
of the
right?
episodes, but it
Yeah.
seems like when we do that, we get things wrong.
Something happens.
Like J6.
Yeah, right.
The comment section is always open. Let us know what you think. Hit us up on social media at the handle @BreakTheBellPod. Apparently, we can't transmit on Twitter anymore because you have to be a premium subscriber now
What does that
as
take?
of this week. Money.
Of course.
So apparently that's a new thing. So
Thanks, Elon.
yeah, thanks. I thought I liked you because you supported Trump now, and
Yeah.
didn't make me like you anymore.
Make ugly
He's
trucks.
just he's a market player.
Oh, fuck yeah.
He sees what
He's a
direction the
businessman.
markets are
Yep.
going. He's like, market's going up for Trump. I'm jumping on
Yep.
that.
Yep.
I'm buying stock.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. So if Joe Biden was doing as well as Donald Trump, he'd probably be act blue right now.
Yeah, right.
So hit us up on social media. Share us far and wide. Join us next time as we pay tribute to the late Joe Biden
Yes. Uncle Joe.
and
Corn pop.
probably other things. And announce couldn't even get out of there we go.
There you are. Okay.
We better get out of here before my computer burns
Agreed.
up.
All
Have a
right.
great rest of your week. We will catch you next time.
Peace.
Goodbye.
The Break the Bell podcast is brought to you by you. So pat yourself on the back because without you, we would be talking to ourselves. A special thanks to our Patreon members, Justin Zielinski, Remzo Martinez, Stephanie Parker, and T.O. Jacobson. A shout out to our sponsors, Run Your Mouth Coffee, the On the Run podcast, and Goulash Media. If you'd like to help support us, visit patreon.com/breakthebell or buy our garbage at breakthebell.bigcartel.com. Get back here next week and let us continue to invade your ear holes. And as always, never stop talking.